Mine is taking a minute.
There we
It's
go.
taking a personal moment.
And we are now live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I see everybody that is presently available to play is on, which is a good sign. That means we are actually live. I see we have our various players. So to quickly recap where we were last week, everyone had returned back to the city of Phandalin. Our cohort, Sildar Hargraven, had been seriously injured. He had been scouting ahead to find out what was going on at the next location you were heading to, which was Axeholm. He was found wandering not too far away from the end by the centaurs that had him at his request to meet you folks at um, the entrance to the Dragon Warren, where you guys had been the catacombs you've been crawling through, where you had found the ancient weapon that had been used by the hero of old to fight dragons in the past, and as a result, that had been brought uh, to the fore there. So as a result, uh, you guys have been able to bring that back in to Phandalin. You guys have that weapon with you at the moment. And this is interesting. I'm still having problems with Chrome not wanting to run. So hopefully the water that the cat, by the way, for those of you that are just listening to this recording, which will probably be the other players who are not available, we had an interesting disaster when the cat jumped up and knocked over a glass of water on top of the game server. So hopefully we are looking at a situation here where we don't have a problem. So I'm going to turn our music off and bring everyone back to the city of Phandalin. We're going to pick up where we left off. Before we get started, any questions, anything that anyone needed to get clarification on from the game last week? So you guys had dropped Sildar off, by the way, with the good sister over at the Temple of Luck, and you had retired to the Stonehill Inn, and that's where you folks were had decided to take a long rest, and you were all resting in your various rooms there, the common room that you guys were all kind of sitting in, and that's where you had chosen to get prepared for the new day and the new adventure. So now you have a situation where you have Sildar, who is being cared for by the family that actually owns the orchard. They've managed to get him medical care. You guys have him. Probably not the orchard, the Temple of Luck. You guys are over at the hotel. It's the next morning. The next place you were going to head to was Axeholm. Um, you now have a sense of where a couple of different things are, different couple places you can go. What says the party? Where are you guys going to go now?
Hi, I have a quick question.
Certainly.
Actually two. Do we know if Sildar was successful in intercepting like the cargo going to the military in ice?
He had reached out. You know that he had left word with one of his friends, a person that he knew to be connected to the military, but you don't know because Sildar was unconscious when you brought him back to the city, and he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has not. Uh, he has not revived, I guess, for lack of a better word. So
Okay.
you don't know whether or not he is or he isn't at this point.
Okay. And what's Axeholm again? I forgot.
Axeholm is the name of what used to be kind of like the old headquarters. When Phandalin was a really big, bustling town and was the center of power in this area, before Neverwinter, much bigger than even Neverwinter, which is the capital in this part of the world, Axeholm was kind of the main military base. And when Phandalin fell, uh, one of the first things that was overthrown was, in fact, that location. It was that facility at Axeholm that was actually overrun by the forces of evil, and the garrison and soldiers there routed, which is one of the reasons why Phandalin was able to fall as easily as it did, because normally Phandalin would call for aid to Axeholm, but there was no aid
No
to
one
come
home.
from there. Yeah, well, there was people there, just not on your side, and
Right.
and as a result, that's one of the reasons why the town fell. And it was rumored that that is where both Morman's wife and the wife of the governor of Phandalin, the governess, they were all of the kind of noble people were brought there for in quote unquote interrogation, translation, torture, to try and glean from them where the entranceway to Wave Echo Cave was. So it was not just a place of military interest for you folks. It may be potentially a place of interest of lore, because that's where a couple of people relevant to your story may presently be.
Okay. Got it. Um. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
caught up. Yeah.
Okay, all caught up. Great. So it is morning. You guys come down. You guys have come downstairs. The Stonehill Inn is its usual bustling bit of craziness in the morning. Bart is running in and out of the kitchen as he's trying to get breakfast ready for all the different travelers and guests that are staying inside of Stonehill. You see Molly running back and forth carrying plates, and a few people are even ordering ale this early in the morning, as opposed to usually the barley tea, which is quite popular with the folks who are gainfully employed. But nonetheless, you guys come down. You have a very hearty breakfast. You fill your bellies, and sitting at the table, what would the party like to do? How are you guys going to proceed?
Is there any place to sell our loot and buy some armor in town?
There
Maybe I could
certainly
ask Mark.
There certainly is. I mean, you guys do have, you guys did bring in a fair amount of stuff, and you do have still a few things that you have not sold off. There is the Provisioner, which is just to the north of you. There's also there's an arms dealer. Well, they're more the arms are not their primary thing, but that's one of the things that they do. It's the Lion Shield Coaster. They're down further south. They're not too far away from City Hall, and of course the Miners Exchange is not too far away from them as well. So depending on what you want to sell and the price you want to get, I mean, Bart obviously has got some basic stuff, but because he often ends up dealing in barter, no pun intended, with people come in who don't necessarily have coin, but they want food, they want stabling, they want a place to stay for the night. So sometimes he has things to sell as well, but it's pretty general fare. But if you guys are looking to go and get something, Barthen's Provisions, like I said, probably a good place to go. But if you're looking to get stuff that's a little bit more on the military side, you probably want to go down to the Lion Shield. But if you've got gems that you're trying to unload, the Miners Exchange is probably a better place to go. So it really all depends on how you want to proceed.
I
The
think
cauldron has some sapphires that we could trade for coin.
Yes, she does.
I also have a few diamonds.
Yes.
How much are those diamonds worth?
I have no idea actually. Let me check.
In your
Worth
case,
five.
those.
Oh my God, they're worth. Wait, they're worth 5,000 gold pieces.
Wow.
Yes, those were the diamonds that you guys found in your last little venture. That were lying in the little jewel bag that you found inside of the sanctum where the 4 sarcophagi were. Now, those diamonds, if you chose to sell them, you could sell them. Obviously, that's the list price, 5,000. It depends on what you actually manage to negotiate with the person when
Right.
you go in, right? And that's where, personality skills really come into play. So anybody who's got intimidation or things of that nature, definitely to your advantage. But be that as it may, also remember that with you and Elrin being clerics, there will eventually be resurrection spells that you can cast, and having diamonds that don't necessarily have to be as opulent as those would become very, very handy to have. I see somebody just joined us on the Discord. Who just joined?
It is I. It is I.
Damien, good to see you, sir. Glad to have you in. You missed all the excitement as the cat tried to take the server down.
Oh, that's great. I was wondering if anybody could stream the game for me, because I will need some on the Discord, because
You can stream on Twitch. You can go to the
I'm streaming it on Twitch right now if you want to go take a look. Go into the
Okay, there might be a few seconds of delay, but I will definitely check.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a few seconds, but it's not so much where it's like you don't know what's going on. It's totally. That's what I did last week.
Gotcha. There we go.
And I think Elrin may have a couple of things in her inventory as well. Just double checking her inventory.
I'm looking at her inventory.
I'm going to have to mute you.
Oh, she doesn't have. Kenji, it would help if you mute the actual Twitch and just stick.
I very much am trying to do that right now.
I'm looking at Elrin's inventory. She doesn't have anything except for like gold, and she has a lot of silver.
Yes.
But she doesn't have any gems.
Yes, that's right. We consolidated that all into your inventory last week. That's right. And looking at Druggar, he sometimes gets used as the pack mule of the party. I think he's done. I think the last time you guys looked to go and buy some gear, I think he kind of got cleaned out primarily of his materials. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Let me just double check something here really quickly.
I've got 3 dragon bones. I'm not sure if they can buy those at the exchange, so I might have to try the provisioner.
Got it. Okay. Understood.
Would any dragon bones be like convenient for any spells possibly we might have?
Not that I can remember.
Not for clerics. Yeah, not for clerics, but do bear in mind that somebody else might find those quite worthwhile. So you might be able to get some decent prices for them if you had an apothecary in town, a spells dealer. And unfortunately, Phandalin is a little small, so Barthen's is probably your best bet. By the way, you guys get most of this information by talking with the other patrons at the bar, talking with Bart, and your conversations with Sildar. Plus, as you guys have gone back and forth to these 3 different vendors in the past, you guys have had interactions with them. You're familiar with what they sell already. If you recall, you guys returned goods that have been stolen to the armory, and you'd also return things to the provisioner, and you had also dealt with the miners' exchange relative to the contract that they had asked for you to try and clean out the red brands out of Tressendor, which, by the way, is still unfulfilled. And you have not been paid for that because you have not actually made good on that promise yet. You've come close, but no banana. So you are familiar with the people who run it. You are familiar with what they carry. So you would have been able to glean all this just from that kind of exchange.
Okay. I'm noticing that I think Damien, Cauldron, and I should probably get and Druggar kind of should probably get a few like pieces of armor because we're the lowest in armor class.
That is correct.
I don't think Cauldron can really get any better armor.
Yeah,
unless it's magic.
Yeah, that's Cauldron's going to be looking for things like rings of protection, maybe a cloak or something like that to give her a little bit more, because she needs to have things that are soft and supple and don't make noise because
right.
Yes, she's
sneaky one.
She is your sneaky one. Mind you, the rest of you guys can clank around like tanks because if you happen to be in your Ravina form, you can suck the whole party into your vessel, the brooch, and Cauldron could pin it to her jacket and carry you guys silently past all the guards to wherever it is you want to go, as we discussed last week. A very
Yeah, I miss her.
Yes, right. Well, there's times you want her and there's times you don't. That's the whole thing about having a split personality. You never know when you're going to have the wrong one show up at the wrong time. It's kind of like the wrong person showing up to a dinner party, nonetheless. But we do. Druggar's got a couple of weapons he can sell, but they're not really anything major. He's got kind of armor. He's got the original splint armor he's come with. He could certainly benefit from having something a little bit more beefy.
Yeah.
And Damien also. Damien, I believe you're in a chain shirt. Now there's kind of a careful exchange that you need to work out here, because you're not as nimble as, say, somebody like Cauldron, but if you go too much heavier than that chain shirt, you're probably going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to start getting some downsides. But you do have a ring of protection now, which has boosted you a little bit, so you're kind of sitting not too bad. Druggar's really the guy who needs the upgrade, particularly. Yeah, you do too. The clerics could definitely.
Druggar, me, and Cauldron have actually not even Druggar. It's me and Cauldron have the lowest armor class.
That is correct, and Ruger's sitting fat, dumb, and happy with the dwarven chainmail. That's not.
Yeah.
That stuff is not the one. But by the way, it's not magic armor. It's just really, really well made.
Right.
But
did you say fat, dumb, and happy?
Well, you back when you were a paladin and a dwarf, and well, you are still a paladin, but when you were a dwarf, now you're an Asimir, so I guess you're tall. You're tall, gloomy, and glistening is kind of what you are now.
So yeah, do you think like going to the lion? Who is that? Who is making so much noise?
That would be Kenji.
Kenji, mute yourself if you're not talking. I think maybe would the lion place, whatever you said, would they have like anything magical that Cauldron could possibly purchase?
Well, the Lion Shield Coaster might. They're much more likely to have superior armor than, say, Barthen's or the Miner's Exchange. The Miner's Exchange might have magical items, but more likely more refined things like wands or rings or things of that nature, things that are very high end that someone has exchanged with them for other, like, basically pawned, because they're basically a pawn shop at that point. Barthen's highly unlikely. They might have really good basic equipment, but having the higher end stuff, probably not them. But depending on what you have to sell.
Right. I know this is kind of a stretch, but is there any way that Druggar could possibly make something magical? No, right?
You guys could, but it's not. I mean, it would take up a lot of game time. That's something you guys could do in between campaigns. Usually that kind of stuff. We could talk about that offline, but that kind of research you can do. You guys could make your own potions. You guys can make your own stuff if you've got the right skill sets for it, but it takes usually weeks, if not months.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just curious. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like going to the Lion Shed would be a good idea.
The Lion Shield Coaster?
Yeah, Lion Shield, sorry.
Not a problem.
What do you guys think?
I think we should the Miners Exchange first to get some cash, because we're not obviously going to be able to cash in our own.
Don't we have a lot of silver and gold pieces though?
Not a lot.
Not for the kind of armor we're wanting to buy. Typically pretty expensive.
Yeah, the 2 diamonds that you're holding on to would probably get you guys some decent stuff, some really low level entry point type of bonus magic stuff. So that would probably be where I would look to go to find something of that ilk. All right.
Okay.
And who knows? You might find something on special. There may be a you know, there's always bargains to be found. You guys are well known by the city. Some folks kind of like you, even though do bear in mind that there are wanted posters for you guys all over the city.
All right.
Nice to be popular.
All right, gang. What do you think?
But should we keep those diamonds though? Because they could be useful if one of us dies.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So basically all we have that we can trade are like the other gems that we have, maybe some loot, and our gold and silver pieces.
I could trade a +1 longsword. That might fetch a fair price.
Ooh.
Do I have any extra long swords that I'm not really using at all? Like, because I know that I had Talon, I had my regular, and then I have my silver sword from like my character specific one. But then, do I possibly have just a long sword that's just chilling in my inventory, perhaps, Dad?
You do have a basic longsword that you could sell, but it's not going to sell for like a ton of money. But what you do have that you was given to you in the loot yesterday is the loot of illusions, which is, you know, it's worth a pretty fair amount of money. There's nobody in this party who is a bard, so there's no one here that can really properly take full advantage of what it can do, but it is worth a pretty fair amount of money to a bard. It's worth about 1,500 gold pieces. So selling it might not be a bad idea, but the question becomes is who would you sell that to? Would you sell that to the provisioner? Would you sell it to the armor, or would you try and sell that to the miners' exchange? Is really where that comes down. One other thing that you found while you were there was a necklace of fireballs, which the price on that is actually significantly higher than this. It should be on there. It's worth about 8,000 gold pieces.
Oh shit!
So it's worth quite a bit, but it also gives you the ability to pull a gem off of it and throw a gem, and it turns into a fireball. As far as you can throw. So do remember, it is very much like the hand grenade. It's an all or nothing proposition, so make sure that you don't fumble your throw, because that could become extraordinarily unpleasant for all parties involved. All right, so I'm kind of going through your specs here so you can see you do also have a spell of Misty Step. You still have that scroll. You do have a scroll of Fireball. And you have a potion of invisibility that you have not used, nor have you tried to sell. The rest of the stuff that you have, as you can see here, is pretty normal, basic fare. You are wearing your protection ring, which is why your armor class has gone up an additional amount there. Of course, you're also wearing your armored shirt. There's the necklace of fireballs there. That's the one that you actually cast the spell through. So actually, the way you cast is you actually cast it from here. So that's where you actually cast it from. All right.
I think a good idea might be to possibly get Damien more like physical armor, and then maybe transfer the ring of protection to Cauldron, possibly.
Yeah, that was something we talked about before. That's a good idea.
Damien did tune his psychic abilities to that ring. You could do that though. You could remove it from him and give it to her. She could begin the attunement process right away, and you could get him heavier armor. But do bear in mind that once you go to slightly heavier armor, is a trade-off for him, and with the way you guys have been using him. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
Galiban, thank you so much for rating our Twitch stream with a party of 5. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. More viewers, the better. I appreciate that. We all appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Everyone is welcome by all means. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, have everyone come. So there you go. So now you guys have an idea of some of the gear you've got. You get some ideas of what you might want to sell. Where would you guys like to go first in order to be able to get rid of some of this gear?
Well, have we ran into any bards in like a tavern anytime recently, or?
Well, there may be one.
Like...
You could quickly see if there's one here in this tavern. There have been some at night. In fact, there, as you can hear in the background, as the applause happens, there's a gentleman playing a a lute over in the corner. He is not overly smartly dressed, but he's, clearly a bardish or type of person, or possibly just a musician.
Well, I mean, if he's going to be resting, it might as well be worth trying to sell this loot to. I mean,
Okay.
if he's got the money's worth for that 1,500, I mean, or even close to that, we can try and work something, but
Okay.
otherwise.
All right. Would you? He's over in the corner. You can kind of hear him playing in the background a little bit. If you listen carefully to the background music, you can hear that he's entertaining certain people in there, and he's got a little copper cup in front of him where he's, it's on the floor as he's playing, and his buddy is playing a flute next to him, not very well, but they're just kind of sitting there playing for spare change to help pay for their breakfast. So, would you like to approach the gentleman?
Sure, let's approach.
Okay. So you approach up to him, and he stops his music as you walk over, and you kind of get close. He realizes you clearly want to talk to him. He's a little shorter than you are, clearly older, a little overweight. As you get closer, you notice there's looks like little splotches of red, and potentially a boil or two underneath his skin. His reddish, grayish, streaky, greasy hair is underneath a lovely green felt archer's cap on top of his head as he continues to play, and his somewhat older, somewhat oblivious, grumpier looking compadre continues to play the flute next to him. He sees you approach.
Well, good morning. What can I do for you?
Just right. You caught me with the mouthful. I was fine playing Spare Bard. I was wondering, perhaps you would like to take a look at this loot that I happen to have. It's rather special. I've been told it's worth quite a lot, and I'd like to sell it to somebody who knows its true value. Perhaps you'd like to offer me something.
Well, it really is a nice looking loot. May I put my hands on it? I'd like to get a closer feel for any musical instrument I might be interested in purchasing.
Of course, but don't try anything funny, of course.
Oh, heavens to Betsy, no, I would never do something like that. Bart would have my hide on the wall right next to his picture of his lovely dead wife.
Very good, very good. By all means.
So he takes the lute from your hands and notices there's a slight golden glow and hue about the instrument as he puts his hands on it, and he plucks a few notes, and you notice this fountain of butterflies coming out of the top of it, and he goes,
Well, sakes, look at this thing. You got yourself here a real interesting instrument here, my friend. Well, I've only seen the likes of these over in the big city. You've been shopping for things like this in Neverwinter. What did you bring this all the way out here to the sticks for?
Oh, I happened to come by it, let's say by luck.
Oh, I'd say that's a pretty good shake of luck, if you ask me. Well, it's pretty. Not gonna lie, she sounds sweet when you play her. How much you want for her?
Well, I've been told that it's valued at about 1,500. Perhaps you could come to something close to that.
as you say 1,500, he gives you a look that only a lungfish could duplicate. Both of his eyes go completely round. He was already pale, but he looks a little paler now. He very carefully, slowly reaches out towards you with the lute for you to go and take out of his hands.
Well, she's purty and all, but I never seen that kind of money. I mean, what do you think I am, the governor? I know. I don't know anybody even in here these parts that could even afford something like that. maybe one person. You might go and try the people over at the Miners Exchange. They buy all kinds of finery over there. They've got that kind of scratch, but not a simple little musician like me.
Fair enough. Thank you for your words, though.
Well, but if you ever change your mind and decide you want to be generous to a poor man, I'll take her off your hands.
Of course.
So he goes back to playing the lute. You notice, though, that the guy playing the flute has been kind of gives you a bit of a really serious look and goes back to playing with his flute.
All right. I will ignore that. I will just make note of that and head to the party.
Very good.
I will. I mean, he's just a bard. I'm not entirely too worried. I'm sure. Like, I'm not trying to start a fight or anything, but I could ask the party if they can possibly do. They can do a detect evil or something like that, couldn't they?
Well, I don't know if you need to use a detect evil. I mean, you could try using perception or investigation to try and what are you trying to specifically find out?
Well, I just want to make sure there isn't like possibly like one of the evil, or possibly someone who is trying to stop us to keep. I mean, come on, let's face it. We have so many enemies right now.
Understood.
It could possibly be somebody like that's under like disguise or anything like that could trying to stop us or anything.
No, very very well understood. So so how do you want to play that? I mean, do you so here's what you do. You go back and tell the table. So anybody like to try getting a read on these guys?
And
Sure, we
anybody
could
in
try.
specific, or just the general patrons of the inn?
The two guys that that Damien just reported back on, that you kind of got a creepy vibe off of the less savory looking version of the two musicians that are over playing in the corner of the bar.
I've got +9 on my perception, so I could like maybe roll like from afar. I see that interaction.
All right, go ahead and give me a roll. You need to beat a 14. Does anybody have a good investigation spell? They might want to try. Well, then with the roll like that,
Hello.
yeah, that was pretty doggone good. You get a good look at them, and you're pretty certain that these guys are just your average run-of-the-mill mummers, the kind of guys who play in bars on a constant basis. But are they evil? Probably not. Are they to be trusted? Probably not. They're the kind of guys who live hand to mouth, and they're not evil. They're clearly not threatening. They don't emanate power towards you. But they're the kind of guys that if you turned your back would steal you blind if you gave them an opportunity.
Well, how's this? Since Damien went up there with a loot that was clearly out of their price range, I'm sure that probably rubbed the flutists off the wrong way. Maybe I buy them their breakfast.
You can
They're called
certainly do that.
flautists, but okay.
Okay.
Okay, you could certainly do that by all means.
Just trying to get people on our good side as much as we can.
Understood.
Of course.
Okay, so are you going to go over and talk with them then?
How about I tell Bart specifically, hey, like, those flutists have been here every day, and, I think they deserve a breakfast that's warm and that they don't have to, scrap their pieces together for. So their breakfast today is on us, and let them know that it was us.
Well, that's awfully nice, you young lady. I'll make sure that they know that you were kind enough to go and pay for their breakfast. And, well, they're not exactly the kind of guys that young lady like you would normally be treating to breakfast, but I guess you sisters are known for your generosity, just like the lady across the street. I'll make sure that they know that you treated them to breakfast. Mighty kind of you.
Heidi. Lady across the street. Who's that?
Oh, well, the good sister over at the
Oh,
Temple
right,
of
right.
Luck.
Right. Sorry.
Not a problem.
Alrighty. Well, so the bard or the guy who's playing the lute said that we should go over to the
Miners Exchange?
yeah, so I think that's the next place we should head over to.
Okay. All right. So you guys go. Are you guys obviously? I would assume you guys are going to go in. What's the word I'm looking for? That you guys are going to go in disguise. Now, what garb are you guys going to use?
I think the red coats. No, the red cloaks.
The red cloaks?
Right?
Certainly. That's
No,
definitely.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking everyone else.
The cultist guard tend to get an
I was
okay
wondering-
reaction from the red guards without raising their suspicion because they're not supposed to know us.
Yeah, actually, the one that I actually was wondering is like one that probably I was wondering is did anybody possibly get a chance to grab one of the white cloaks?
You mean the cultists who wear the black and white?
Yeah. Anybody grab one of those? Because I feel like when you're higher up, like the higher rank, I feel like people are less likely to to talk to you and tell you like and ask you about your rank if you see somebody who's like of a higher rank,
Well, I think that the
Did anybody get a
cloaks
chance?
aren't around this area, right? It's just the red cloaks. So
Just the red cloaks. Okay.
that's what I was thinking, like maybe being in the cultists cloaks might stick out a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that a fair thing, or should we do the cultist cloaks?
I'm just trying to make sure. Wait, are we in cultist? Are we in red brand territory or are we in cultist territory?
Red brand, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Well,
Okay. Oh, then
so you guys have. This is Red Brand. The city's still run by the Red Brands. Absolutely, positively, still run by the Red Brands. However, you have noticed that when you are walking around wearing the garb of the dragon cultists, you were also able to be to move around with with a fair amount of impunity. You weren't getting stopped a whole lot, so definitely something worth noting.
Then maybe we should go with the cultists then, because then it's less likely for people to come up to us.
Yeah, and question, like, who is your superior?
Certainly.
Right, or who are you? Because they were supposed to kind of know each other.
Right, yeah. That's true. All right. So we do have the cultist cloak still, right?
You do indeed. You do have
Okay.
you have both of you have enough of both the dragon cultist robes and also the red brand robes. You have them stashed back up in your room. You guys can you can fold them up and put them into your backpacks individually if you would like. Definitely something you can do.
Then I think going with the cultist cloaks might be a better move. Less chance for interruption.
Understood? Understood. Okay. So just to make sure so you guys are dressing as red brands and going out, right?
No, cultist.
Cultists. Okay.
Cultists.
All right. Just want to make sure that I got it all straight in my head. Okay, so you guys get dressed in your cultist gear, and you are going to make your way down towards the. Let me go switch over to that map. It'll be easier to explain. I'll go over to the Phandalin map so you guys can see this. Here we go. Activate. Here we go. So now you guys are looking at the map. So just so everybody is clear, the mystifying owl is actually not there. So I'm going to make him go bye-bye for just a split second. Boom, he's gone.
Bye-bye, owl.
But you guys are all together here, just outside of the Stonehill Inn. Now, The provisioners themselves, the miners' exchange is this building right down here. Okay, that's if you. I'm zooming out. If you're watching on the Twitch stream, it's down over here, pretty close to the south end of town.
Can you target it so I can see, or like hold down so that the
Sure,
green?
I just did. So there we go again.
Oh, there we go.
So that's where the miners' exchange is. Okay, to remind everybody, this is City Hall. You guys have had so much fun. Just kind of immediately across the street and one building over, that's where the Lion Shield coaster is. That's the arms person. And if you're looking for the provisioners, they're up here on the north end of town, just literally as you walk into town. Theirs is the very first shop on the right-hand side when you get to the main part of town. Obviously, there's farms and so forth outside of the old city walls, but that's the main thrust of what's available to you guys there. And you notice that there's a fair amount of activity in the middle of the square, the courtyard area that you're there in front of. That's the main kind of market area. But it's not the kind of place where you guys are going to sell your stuff. If you want to buy a great head of cabbage, that would be where you would go. Or if you're looking for like a coney of rabbits, that's where you would go, but not for what you guys are trying to do. All right. Cool. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I want to make sure I
game-
know because I'm going. Does everybody know where they're going? So I'm gonna move you guys down through the city. But is there anything you wanted to do before I start heading you down there? Anything else that you're checking on?
My game is still showing paused. Should I? Do I need to do anything with that?
Try hitting F5. You may be hung up.
I mean, for me, it zoomed in on a weird part of the map when it first loaded. So if you zoom out, you'll be able to see Elrin's character circle thing, and that's like where we are. The game is paused though.
No, it wasn't. I'll.
Okay,
do
now
it's not.
Okay.
Now it's not.
All right. Okay. So clearly, the hard drives are helping a little bit, but not as much as I would like. Anyhow, nonetheless, we're moving along. So moving you guys down through the city. You guys pass by the city hall, no big deal. And you're going to go all the way down here towards the miners' exchange, which is over here in this part of the woods. Now I'm going to quickly roll to see whether or not anybody recognizes you guys. On a roll of 19 or 20, you have been spotted, and anything other than a 19 or 20, you guys have managed to make it down to the facility with no trouble. So let me quickly do a roll here. This is a public roll. You'll be able to see this. There goes the roll, and it is an 11. So you guys managed to make your way through the crowds of people moving back and forth and the patrols of red guards that you see moving along. No one thinks to question a group of dragon cultists as they move down through the city. You guys are kind of a surly bunch to begin with anyway, so they're really in no hurry to go and bother you. So that being the case, you find yourselves now walking on down towards the miners' exchange and moving on into that map. Let's see if this one goes a little faster. I'm going to quickly bring you in. There you go. How fast was that for you guys? Did you guys see that one happen quickly? Let me know when you see
Yeah,
it.
it was pretty fast.
Okay. Not exactly sure why we had this slow down with the other one, but I will make a mental note of that. All right. So now you folks are over here in, I guess what you would call the, hello? Everything cool? All right.
I can't see anything. I've got a gray screen, black. All I've got is the little anvil in the upper left-hand corner.
Did you try refreshing?
Yeah, I refreshed. I've tried F5 like I was told. F5 took away the whole picture. I don't know what the problem is.
I can see the miners' exchange. Maybe it just takes a little time.
Eva, do you
Yeah, I
see
can
it?
see them. I see that Twitch stream.
I've been given it a while now.
Let me try this. Let's try it again. And
Yeah, it's got the little foundry icon up in the corner. I just don't know why it's not loading.
There's an option called pull to scene. Let me try pulling you into the scene. Because I see you in there. Oh, wait a minute. No, you are not there. I see everybody but you. I think you may have disconnected. Steve?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just don't see anything other than the little icon.
Okay, try closing your browser and coming back in. Are you using Chrome or are you using a different browser?
Chrome.
Okay. Okay, Steve's out. Now let's see if he comes back in. Worst comes to worst, jump on the Twitch stream and mute it and stay on. I'm hoping that's not what we have to do, though. There's Steve. I don't see him in here yet. Hold on a moment.
Yeah, I've got the little Foundry icon.
Okay, well let me
But
try. Let me try one last thing. Let me pull your character in and out. Let me drop him back in again. And then
Usually it brings up the option to log in.
well, you're there. I can see that much at least. I'm gonna pull all the icons in and see if that forces you to refresh or something. Okay. And got Angelina Cauldron. Who am I missing? Oh, Damien. There we go. All right. All right.
There we go.
Okay.
You see Miners Exchange loading.
Yay, we got him.
Yeah. Not
All
says I
right.
lack permission to create a new setting. I'm not sure what that means.
I don't think I understand either, so we'll just go with this for now.
Okay.
All right. All right. Cool. All right. Well, Elrin looks weird right now. That's fine.
We won't tell her. We won't tell her that she looks weird.
Yeah, it's okay. She's blind. She's blank right now. That's fine.
She's
blank.
invisible.
That's okay. So something weird happened because something always seems to weirdly happen here. So you folks come on in here and per usual, a couple of the more finely dressed henchmen. Henchmen? Did I say henchmen? I meant assistants of the young lady who runs the miners' exchange. Come out and see you there. It's like,
My lady will be with you shortly. Please sit down, don't touch anything, and if you would like to help yourselves to a glass of wine, please don't.
and they walk off into the back to go and bring her out. And as
I
you
look
guys,
at her, there's wine.
Druggar's like, "Look, keep them busy. I don't want them watching." He goes over and pours himself a small glass of wine and takes a good shot of it down. As he's starting to do that, you notice that a long, dark-haired woman comes walking in wearing very fine dress. She looks to be extremely intelligent. You've met her before. She's the woman who had worked with you to try and get the contract started to remove the red brands. She kind of looks at you with a little bit of distaste, and she's like, "You were supposed to take care of my problem up there at Tressendal Manor. You clearly have not done so yet. What brings you to my abode again?"
Listen, that's a really hard request to try and do. So I hope you can stay a little patient with us. We haven't given up yet. We're still in the process. We're actually here because we have some good things that I think you'll find are worth your time and that we'd like to trade for.
Well, good things, yes. Take a look around, my dear. Do you think I am lacking for good things? As you look around, you notice that there's probably thousands of dollars of trinkets and finery in the room. Not to mention the fact that, yes, you haven't finished my request, but it does appear to be going in the other direction. There seems to be many, many more of the red brands in town now, are there not?
Sure, but I think you can try and understand the situation that we are put in. We're not, taking our willy-nilly time. We're working the best we can. There's a lot of parts into this equation, and the red brands are a huge force to be reckoned with, and we're merely only 6 people trying to do our best. Now, I did say these were good things, and I said they'd be worth your time, and I think that you will understand when I also say that the things that we are trading for will also help our journey to defeat the red bands, so it is worth your time.
I see. Well, I don't normally trifle in the exchange of... She kind of looks at you a little bit down her nose. Trinkets. I'll send someone in to attend to you. Oh, and do help yourself to the wine. I can see that your dwarf already has. And she walks out of the room and sends in a white-haired gentleman. Comes walking in. He's got a very long white beard. He appears to be quite old, and judging from the way he's squinting, quite likely a little bit on the blind side as well. But he walks in and he's like,
Yeah, well, Sam, the good missus told me that you're looking to sell some stuff. Can we we'll take a look at it? Bring it over here. We can take a look.
Okay, well, we know that there's the loot, right? Is there anything else that we want to try and trade for?
So I have 2 sapphires, I think.
Okay.
Ooh, you got sapphires. Let me take a look.
so he brings out this funny-looking piece of glass wrapped in leather, and he sticks it into his eye, and when he looks up at you, his eyeball now looks like it's 3 times the size it was before. And he puts his hands out in front of you with a small piece of blue felt, as if he's trying to get you to put the gems into those.
I give them to him so he can examine them.
Ooh, let me take a look. Ooh, very fine. The people don't cut them like this no more. They don't cut them like this no more at all. No. These are old. Where'd you find these? I haven't seen any of these since, probably, it's easily 100 years. Tell you what, we've been not exactly finding it easy to bring sapphires in here. They're very important for certain spells. I'd be willing to pay you for a handsome price I'm willing to pay you 90 gold pieces each for these.
$90. Do we think that's fair?
With my proficiency in jeweler's tools, is there some difference in price that I?
Well, you think that you do have jeweler's tools. So here's what I'd like you to do. Go ahead and give me a proficiency roll. It's not super hard. Give me 12 or better using your proficiency with and do you have investigation or anything like that? You have insight. Go ahead and better yet, give me an insight roll. I think you get a better roll with the insight roll.
I think it's the same.
Okay. Oh,
Hey!
There we go.
You're pretty
Dirty
sure,
20.
back in Neverwinter, You might have been able to get 100 for him if you could get somebody who is really desperate for some really nice sapphires. So he's offering you 90.
It's not too bad. That's fair.
Probably.
Okay. Ooh, okay, wait, I'll get him to you right now. So he walks over to the counter where there you see over there in the far right-hand corner of the room, not too far away from the dressing partition. There's a table there. He opens up the top drawer and he takes a small chest up onto the table, opens it up, and you see him counting. Ooh, 20, 30, 40. You hear him counting. You hear the coins chinking. And he comes over and he places into your hands, he places the 90 gold pieces. So you now have 186 gold pieces in your possession. And he takes the 2 sapphires away from you. And he's like, "Thank you very, very, very much. I've not seen one of these in a long, long time. These are very, very pretty, very pretty. I got a perfect place for them." Yoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And he takes them and wraps them up in the blue, and he places them one drawer down in that same desk area over in the corner. Well, is there anything else? Anything else you're looking to part with? Anything else you're looking to part with?
The loot. Damien?
So Damien walks up and he's got the loot in his hands. Damien, are you going to do anything special or anything like that when you try to hand it to him?
Define special.
Well, are you going to try and convince him of the value of this wonderful little doodad that you've picked up?
I mean, I'd love to hear his opinion about it first before I try to do any convincing.
Well, I think it's worthwhile telling him, like, who possessed this loot before us.
Absolutely. I suppose so. Yeah.
So you tell him the tale of removing that from the Dragon Barrow, and you see him kind of wrinkle up his nose a little bit. He goes, "Ooh, you guys are a bunch of grave robbers. I don't know. There's kind of bad mojo with that. Bad mojo. Not so sure. Not so sure. Not so sure I want that. But
Don't fret. I mean, we were given permission by the ladies. What was Wraith to take whatever we found of value."
I see. That's interesting. That's very interesting that you're telling us that. Oh, okay. That's a fine story. The story sells the loot. Let me ask you, do you have any proof that the lady was giving you permission to go take this?
Well, I think the sword would be a good proof, right?
Yeah, I can show him the sword of dragon slaying.
And then my brooch at the same time to show, like, the connection.
So you show him the brooch and you show him the teardrop ruby on the pommel of the Dragon Slayer sword. And he looks at you guys and he starts to get very wide-eyed and he's like, "Ooh, that is something special there. You wouldn't want to part with that sword now, would you?"
No, this isn't for sale.
Now, you're sure we could pay a mighty fine price? Mighty fine price. We'd be willing to pay top dollar for it.
There's no budging. These aren't for sale.
Oh, you see he looks kind of hurt and heartbroken, kind of sulks for a second, sucks on his teeth and goes,
Well, I guess we could go and buy the loot. Is there anything special other than the fact it came out of the Dragon Barrows? Or is there anything special? Because loot's...
When you play it, butterflies come out of it.
He looks at you and kind of cocks an eyebrow.
Boy, how much you been drinking?
Well, I mean, take a look at the loot for yourself. I think you can tell it's a very high value. And additionally, this bard that played this was the bard of the lady.
Oh, I see that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, well, let me see what I can do here. He takes a look at it. You see him examining over the course of the loot. He's looking at it. He sees the gold. He plucks it a little bit, and he sees a butterfly come out of one string and a little firework go off on the other. Ooh, this could be a lot of fun at the festivals. I think but I don't know if we got the right kind of buy here in town. I just don't know. I don't know. And when can I go and take this over to the big city? You see him muttering to himself. You see him arguing with somebody who's not there, as he continues to have this inner dialogue where he's clearly chastising somebody about paying too much for something he bought before. And he looks at you and he goes, well, it's pretty. I'm glad it's pretty. It's very pretty, very pretty. I like the fact that it's pretty and it sounds nice and it does funny things when you go and pull on it. But I'm not so sure I'm going to be able to sell this real easy. But tell you what, I'm an honest man. I'll give you 1,100 gold pieces for it.
1,100. Trying to think.
If you guys want to get some armor, we'd probably better part with it because we're not going to get it off of 180 gold.
Yeah. Trying to think.
You have any bards that come in ever?
What'd you say, ma'am?
You have any bards that come into your shop ever?
Oh, from time to time when they're coming through the city, sometimes we get it. Yeah, sometimes we do.
I promise you that if any bard who's of high status or can afford this will be sure to buy this. How's 1,200?
I was about to say 1,200.
Okay. Well, the lady gave us the price first. So, Angelina, do you have persuasion?
Oh Lord. Let's see. I believe I do. I do not.
You do not. Okay.
But I have charisma of 13.
You have a charisma of 13. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you should let other people do the negotiating. Just saying.
Well, I'm sorry. I like the story.
I get it. I understand it. Okay, so here's what but because you're the one that made the recommendation, go ahead and give me a roll of we're rolling charisma versus charisma. All right, so it's going to be your charisma versus his wisdom. All right, so this is
Am I doing an ability check?
Yes, so when you roll it, add your bonus. He's going to roll. He gets no bonus because his wisdom is 10. So
you could just roll persuasion and it just wouldn't give you the proficiency.
Either or, whichever gives her the better score.
Okay.
No.
They're both the same, right?
Yeah,
because you don't have proficiency in persuasion, it would just roll charisma.
There you go. So go ahead and roll it, and let's go.
Right.
You rolled a 17.
Nice.
And he rolls a 13. So he's like,
boy.
Okay. Well, I like the cut of your jib. You're a very nice lady, very pretty, very pretty. Like the golden hair. Yes, I do like so. Oh, I'll give you the 1,200. Sure.
Woohoo! Good play. Okay.
So once again, you hear him arguing with somebody on his left-hand side, and then he looks over on his right-hand side and argues back. And he does this back and forth about paying too much. So he walks back over to the same desk and roll top. He pulls out the little chest, pulls out the coins, and comes back and hands Damien the 1,200 gold pieces. So Damien, you now have a rather hefty chunk of gold in your hands. And the loot has been removed from your inventory and has instead been placed over in the hands of the merchant, who is now the proud owner of this said loot, which he now owns. He puts that into his inventory. You see him making some notations here and there in a big, large ledger with a large feather and a pot of ink. So he comes back over to you. He's like, okay. Well, is there anything else you wanted to sell? Anything else? And you see him kind of rubbing his hands. You guys have some fine stuff.
What do you guys think about my moonstone goblets? I forgot what those were used for.
Actually, also, can you give 100 of those gold pieces to? Is that Angelina Makiko? Are you Angelina?
Yes.
Yeah, give 100 gold to Angelina because she was the one who ended up doing that negotiating.
Well, we're all
Well,
gonna buy.
you guys can hold off on that for the time being because you guys are looking to go and pool your inventory at the end, anywho.
Right.
So you guys might want to just
Sure.
hold off on that until you've done your purchasing. All
Okay.
right. So, Angelina, are you interested in parting with those moonstone goblets?
I just don't remember what I used them for in the past.
Well, if you read the description that you have for them, they are just a silver goblet set with moonstones in them. And I believe they had a decent value associated with them. Let me take a look here. Yeah, the price of them as a set, when Cauldron looked at them, she was pretty sure that you guys could get anywhere between 200 and 250 gold pieces for them in Neverwinter. But what you'd be able to get out here in the sticks of Phandalin, it's a totally different story. But you seem to have established some sort of a rapport with this merchant who seems to be very keen on working with you guys.
All right. What do you guys think? Should I part with them?
Sure, I don't see what we
Yeah.
keep them for.
Alrighty. How about this set of moonstone goblets, sir?
So he takes a look at those. He brings out his trusty eyepiece again, and he takes a look at them and he goes, "Well, not a lot of call for these. Not a call. I mean, we are a mining town. Not a mining town. Not a lot of people going to be able to take advantage of this. But I'll give you I'll give you the 200 gold pieces. Get 200 gold pieces. 200 gold pieces for it. Yep. I know it's
For
too
the
much money.
set
Damn it! You gotta stop
or each?
nagging me. I know I'm giving them too much money. I know the mistress is gonna shut up. I will give you 200 gold
Is
pieces
it for each of them or the whole set?
over the whole set.
Is that what it was? I don't.
Well, if you take a look at the info on
I did. I can't. All that comes out is just the fact that it's a silver goblet set with
well,
moonstone.
if you click on the edit, okay, I can tell you they're worth. Cauldron told you they were worth between 200 and 250 gold pieces for the set, not
okay.
a piece.
Okay. That sounds good, sir. You have a very good eye for pricing.
And as you go and tell him that, he kind of blushes a little bit, and he goes, "I told you." And he looks over at somebody who's not there. And goes, "See, I told you." Even the dumb one, the dumb blonde, even she knows. She knows I know what I'm talking about. So, why he's arguing, whoever it is he's arguing with, you can't see them, but clearly they're still there. So, nonetheless, so there you go, and he gives you your 200 gold pieces for all that. So you're now sitting with 250 gold pieces, but you are no longer the owner of a lovely matching set of moonstone silver goblets.
Boo. All right. All right. Is there anything else that someone wants to trade for?
Druggar's now on his third glass of wine. Then you'll have a bunch of beaver pelts that you want to get rid of. Well, how about selling one or two of those damn diamonds? You don't need all three of them.
I feel like just in case I should keep 3.
Up to you.
Well, it's a choice between sell one and get some armor on people, and we may not need to revive them, versus having 3 diamonds but no spells to use them with.
Yeah.
So I would vote for the armor and hope people stay alive for now, but maybe keep one in case we get a scroll, because that scroll's going to be expensive wherever we find it. So we might need the other one, the second one, to pay for the scroll.
Well, maybe I should just sell 1 diamond then, because I have 3.
Yeah, at least 1, but maybe not 2. The second diamond we'll probably have to sell to buy the scroll, because it's going to be
Buy the scroll
crazy.
of what?
A scroll of, what's it called? Not revivification.
Like resurrection?
Resurrection.
So, the diamond would actually be a material component for those spells cast. So I don't know if I don't think we are going to get up to that level where we're going to be able to cast them ourselves.
No, but they can become very handy when you know you need to go and find a monk or a priest to perform the ritual for you, because it's not like they're asking for it for payment. You actually need that to perform the ritual to bring the person back, and that diamond unfortunately gets consumed. You don't get it back. They don't get to keep it either, so it's fair exchange.
I have a crap ton of beaver pelt. Should we keep that for the lion shield, or should we do that here?
Try to do it here.
Alrighty. I don't think I'm the only one with a bunch of beaver pelt, right?
Druggar
I
has a
think we
bunch.
sold a bunch of pelts earlier.
Yes,
True.
yes. You guys had several bunches of them from when you guys were much earlier on in the campaign. Makiko, you've got 5 of them there. They're actually fairly heavy.
Yeah, that's why I want to get rid of them.
But they are still in pretty good shape. And he looks at them and he's like, "Ooh, well, definitely a step down, step down, step down from the moon goblets, yeah. But yeah, I'm willing to take them off your hands for 10 gold pieces total." Which, by the way, is pretty much what they're worth.
Yeah, that sounds like a good price.
Okay. So he takes them and walks them over to the corner. You see him throw them down the hall, kind of unceremoniously, and goes back over to his same spot and gives you another 10 gold pieces. Now, Cauldron, do you have anything else inside of your inventory that you want to sell? By the way,
I don't think so.
if you double click on his wand, you should be able to see what he has in his inventory. So you should be able to see him.
Yeah, I see. Ooh, he has rings of protection.
Cloak of protection.
Yes, he does. He has several things that are actually quite nice, and he's been very fond of you guys. So when the time comes for the prices, there may be a little bit of room to move things around here.
Yeah, that ray of protection +1 or +2 would be really nice.
Yeah.
$6,400, 6,400 gold pieces, you guys. I don't know if you've got enough to come up to that unless you were to go and part with those diamonds.
Well, maybe a ring of protection of +1. Oh, I don't think we still have enough for that.
Well, you guys maybe sell 1 or 2 of the diamonds, because the diamonds I broke down the way. Makiko, if you click on them now, I've got it broken down by the relative value after Cauldron took out her jeweler's box and kind of gave them a once-over to kind of give you an idea. You also do have a scroll of lightning bolt, but you probably want to keep that because you guys might need it. And there is the circlet of thunderstrike, which is still a very, very workable thing. You guys haven't worked it into a lot of your battles yet, but it certainly is something that you could be working with. You could probably sell that for a pretty penny, because I think it's right now, if you were trying to sell that, it's worth about 5,000, and if you expended all of the spells out of it, it would still, because it's beautiful and it's very finely wrought, it would still be worth about 1,400 gold pieces. But I think there's more value to it as an actual element right now. But there's, as you can see, there's a robe of useful items that he has in his, you can see, you're looking through the ledger, that book that he was writing things down, he brings it over, puts it on the table, and you guys start kind of flipping through it to take a look at some of the things that he's got back in his inventory if you guys are interested.
Yeah, I'm thinking, so I have 2 diamonds that are worth 1,000, and then 1 diamond that's worth 3,000. So
Correct.
I'm wondering if maybe I should sell the 3,000 one and keep the other 2, so that Cauldron can get the ring of protection +1.
There you go. Absolutely, that sounds like a plan. If you guys want to do that, or the other way around. You know, you sell the two 1,000 ones, you keep the 3,000 one, and you let maybe Cauldron take a swag at breaking it into smaller stones. She does have a jeweler's kit. And in her former life and her other planet that she came from, she was in fact very adept at doing stuff like that when she was a dwarf.
Cauldron, what do you think we should do?
I feel like if we're gonna sell the stones, we should sell the 3,000 one.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So then, yeah, I'll do that then.
All right. So going once, going twice. So you guys gonna try and get him to buy that? Are you gonna show it to him and offer it to him and see what he does?
Yeah.
All right. So you come up to him and you show him it's the 3,000 one you're trying to sell?
Yeah.
Okay. You pull out a rock. This thing is the size of a peach. And you watch the old man's knees kind of wobble a little bit. And you're not sure, but you think he's drooling. He kind of composes himself. Well, yeah, that may not be real. May not be real. I gotta take a look at it. Let me kind of take a look at it, please. And he puts that big piece of glass back into his eye with the leather shroud around it, and his eyeball becomes disturbingly almost the size of half of his head as he asks to take a look at the stone. Do you show it to him? Is that okay with you?
Please, this is a test of your good eye again.
All right, so he takes a look at that, and he looks at it for a couple of seconds, and he goes, "Well, you know, I like you. You've been straight with me, best. I like the ability to go and buy this, but I gotta leave a little on top for me. Gotta leave a little on top for me. You know that, right? I gotta have a little top for me, right?"
You're a businessman, I understand, but let's see that number.
Goes, well, I think it's worth about what. I know I'm not one giving too much. You shut up now. Go back in the back. I don't care what you smell. Go in the back. I'm willing to give you 2,500 gold pieces for it. That's fair price. Fair price. I gotta sell this thing. I gotta keep it in my inventory.
How about
Sure.
let's make it 2,800, and it's all yours.
Okay, Steve, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, perhaps we could make an exchange.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Well,
You
it
see the
might be
price
more.
of the ring?
Right.
So you've countered his 2,500 with 2,800. Steve is Ruger has sweetened the deal by talking about possibly doing an exchange. And all of a sudden you see the man's personality change. And now all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, you want to be able to exchange, do you? Yes, yes. What do you want to exchange?" You would swear his face has changed.
Oh boy.
Well, we would be interested in that ring of protection as a direct exchange for that diamond, which I think you'd be getting a good deal on both ends.
A great deal.
Right.
So he looks at you for a moment, ponders it, and goes,
Very well. We shall exchange the goods. Yes.
So, which one of you guys will be taking possession of the ring? I want to give it to the right person.
Yep.
Cauldron? All right, Cauldron. You reach out your hand as the gentleman goes and passes the ring of protection over to you. And as you do so, he goes,
"Now, madam, I will require the diamond."
He takes the diamond away from Angelina, and he goes running off into the back, and he's like, "The doddering old fool. This is a smashing trade. Yes, yes, very smashing. The lady will be very pleased with me, yes." If you didn't know any better, you would swear that he is now standing more erect.
It's almost like he's switched with the voices.
And he comes back over going, well, fabulous to be able to do business with you. Was there anything else you would like?
I like the other guy better, but Druggar has like 6 hand axes. Oh no, 4 hand axes. Does he want to keep all those?
I throw them at people who piss me off. So yes,
right.
I want to keep them.
Okay, sorry.
You see him going, fires down now his 8th glass of wine. And let me roll one more time. Do we have is that I cannot see my own chat in Twitch right now. It sounds like we have some chats coming in. It's wonderful to have dwarven constitution. But you notice that Druggar is starting to sit on the floor. And he's got the bottle of wine tucked under one arm and the mug in the other.
Okay, I go and pull Druggar off the floor and say, you're being an embarrassment now, man.
I'm being a dwarf. Yeah, buckle off, you sassy pants.
And as he goes to try and push you, he kind of bounces off and falls back on his butt.
We got a new follower. Thank you so much, Gunge9.
Hey, thanks, guys. So our good friend Druggar is now sitting in a somewhat vaporous, wine-induced fun over in the corner. He's having a party all to himself, while our good friend comes back over from the inventory sheets, makes his update, brings the book back over, plays it back on the table where you guys can see it, and he goes, yes, do you have anything else that I might want to be interested in? Any more exchanges? Yes.
I feel like that may be all.
When you say that, he looks visibly hurt, like you've just insulted him. He's like,
oh, come on.
Well, if that's the case then, I'll go back to about my work, and you can show your way out. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, and come back again. Bring more stuff.
Thank you. You were very helpful.
Yes, so the gentleman goes and shuffles off into the back, and you hear him once again having an argument with somebody in his head. Whomever it is a completely open to interpretation, but he goes trotting off into the back, and one of the lackeys, one of the lesser well-dressed lackeys, comes walking out again. You're welcome to look at the inventory if you're interested in buying, but otherwise, the Lady Halia, she bids you a fond afternoon and suggests that you find other places to go and patron today. Thank you very much. Let me show you all the way out the door. He walks over and helps Druggar stand up, and he's like, I know how to stand, as he starts to stagger around. The now very drunk dwarf is having a little bit of difficulty dealing with gravity at the moment, but he's holding on to a now empty bottle of wine and staggers out the door of the exchange. He's now standing outside of the front and goes, well, the rest of you are coming, or you're just going to sit in there and stink up the place.
So we go outside.
Yes, we all go outside.
I'm tempted to cast Lesser Restoration on him just to kill his buzz.
That would be mean, but funny.
How would that be mean, exactly?
All right, okay.
I look him in the eye and I tell him, you better be ready to fight.
I'm always ready to fight. I'll fight you. I'll fight her. I'll fight anybody. Anyone thinks I can't fight. What was I saying?
Yeah,
Now,
that's what I thought.
Alrighty. Listen, guys, I'm worried about walking through town with someone like this right now.
Yeah, that's the problem. A drunk cultist draws attention. So I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on Druggar.
all right. Go ahead and give me a roll on Lesser Restoration.
What a waste of a spell.
uh,
I shouldn't have pointed out the wine. It's my fault. I'm sorry, guys.
well, for
You
you, it's all
probably
for you as
found it.
a cleric. It's sacramental. We understand. For him, it's a little bit more important.
Okay.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like I need to target him, but I can't really see him. We're sort of in a
Okay.
pot.
Well, just go ahead and just well, I'll take it off of your character sheet.
Okay.
You go ahead and you cast Lesser Restoration, and we're gonna for lack of for story purposes, this spell works. And Drugger's now completely sober, and he looks at you, and goes, "We will not speak of this later."
Of course, of course. Mum's the word.
He goes, "I'll be out back." He goes walking behind. He's like, goes walking behind the building, and he's kind of standing over there in the corner right now, having a very hard conversation with himself.
Okay, we forgive you. Okay, where's the lion shield again?
The Lion Shield is across the street and just up the road, literally almost right across from. So it's right here.
Oh, right.
See, here's town. There's the town hall right there. Miners Exchange here. Just reorienting to you guys, and obviously Stonehill here. Temple of Luck there. Just a quick orientation for everybody who may not know where everything is. There you go. So you guys are going to head on over to the Lion Shield.
With our cultist cloaks.
Awesome. So you guys go and walk across the streets. Oops. Let me get everybody. Everybody walks across over to the Lion Shield. Let me get everybody over there. I left a few people behind. There we are. And let me just quickly see if anybody spots you guys as you're doing this. I'm going to roll my 20. As I said before, if you guys get a 19 or 20, you have been spotted. You will have to go and explain something to someone. Could be just a regular old member of the city. Could be a city guard. You do not know. Here we go. Rolling for now. And it is a 12. You managed to make it across the street and over into the Lion Shield without being spotted. The cultist robes not failing you, folks. So very similar to where you guys have been in this place before. So before everybody forgets, the Lion Shield coaster, you guys actually found a bunch of stuff over and for Cauldron. You were not here at the time, and even Angelina, you were not here. This is where a place that you heard through stories over at the bar where Sildar and Gundren and Ruger and Druggar actually brought a bunch of stuff that they had found in one of the goblin enclaves that where that's actually where they found Sildar, as a matter of fact. So let me go and bring everybody in here. So I will bring you all in here in just a moment. Let me know when you see the market. Do you guys see the market here?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So you guys come walking on in here, and as you walk in, a gentleman with a bright red wrap about his head, a very majestic looking brown beard. You recognize him as the gentleman that you've dealt with in the past here. He's been very fair, very kind to you. He walks in. Oh, good day to you. Good to see you all here. What brings you into our fine establishment today? Are you looking for a new sword? Are you looking for a fine piece of armor? We have a special this week on crossbow bolts. 50% off on your second quarrel's worth. Yes.
Does anyone need any crossbow bolts?
Well, I do know that the two clerics do, and let me put your characters onto the map, because I don't know if you guys have actually been in here before. Let me make it a little easier for you guys to find your your inventory. I'll bring everybody in so you guys can check that. Once again, bringing everyone in. Druggar.
What was the sale on again? What did you say?
Crossbow bolts. You can get 50% off your second dozen, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
Now I know that Elrin, who has still got her broken icon, I'm not exactly sure why. We'll fix that later. She does have a hand crossbow that could use with some of those. She has a full set, but it would be probably in her best interest to consider getting some. That's for sure.
I have 29 crossbow bolts because I don't really use it that often, so I think I'm good on
Yeah, I
that.
think you're good. You're good on yours. Elrin would probably like to buy those, so Elrin's going to actually take advantage of it. So she goes over and looks at the gentleman's. She looks at him and goes, discount for the church? And she tries to go and see if she can get herself a little bit of a discount with this gentleman. And he's like, standard 15% we take off for the church. Make sure that you put a good word in for me with the sister. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Yes. So you notice that he's a little bit more forgiving with her with respect to the prices. And she gets her crossbow bolts. And I'm just looking for the prices here. Where's the price of those? Alrighty. And she now has 30. And that only costs her 3 gold pieces. She's now at 88 gold pieces. So, very good. So she's now got a full load of 30 quarrels. She has a completely loaded up quarrel, backup, and stash in her bag. So she's all ready to rock and roll now. So, Druggar goes, "Hey, I was wondering, can your guys fix this thing?" And he pulls out this enormous falchion that's almost as big as he is. It was used by the abomination you guys had run into over on the island, the crossbreed between the orc and the dragon, and it's almost as big as our dwarf. And the gentleman looks at it and goes, well, interesting workmanship. We can certainly go and work on this for you. We'll come back tomorrow. We can probably have this ready for you. It will cost you 150 gold pieces to get this properly weighted for you. I can bring out one of my men. They'll measure you right now, and we'll get started on this. So he snaps his fingers, and 2 small halfling-sized creatures come running out, and they're like, and they bring out these stretches of yarn, and they start going over the dwarf's body back and forth, and they start muttering at each other in some strange, obscure language that no one in the group party, unfortunately, because nobody here speaks this language, unfortunately, can pick up on. And they grab the falchion, and they go running off into the back, and you hear a bunch of clinking and clanging and screaming and yelling and groaning in the background as apparently they take it over and introduce it to one of the smiths in the back to begin working on. So Druggar goes and reaches into his purse to go and give this gentleman the 150 gold pieces to get it resized, and suddenly, embarrassingly, realizes he's about 60 gold pieces short. And he kind of turns to the party and very sheepishly goes, well, I seem to be a wee bit shy. Anyone here can lend a dwarf for about 60 gold pieces so I can get this done?
Yeah, I'll give him 60 gold.
Ah, thank you. So, seeing as how he, it would be in your best interest if he could wield this darn thing anyways. So, Ruger, I'm going to go ahead and take the 60 out of your inventory and add that to our good friend here, the merchant, taking you down to 36. We still have the pool of money that we can do with the whole party, and you guys did sell that loot for a pretty fair share. So, yes, the falchion is now off being reworked, but in the meantime, is there anything that you guys see in his inventory that you guys are interested in? He's got bracers, he's got chainmail, he's got a lot of really cool things here.
He's
I
got
was
this-
wondering if there's any way for me to buy a shield just to add +1 to my armor class.
You can, but do bear in mind that if you're using a shield, you will not be able to use two-handed weapons, and you can't use that with a full-size crossbow. But a hand crossbow, you certainly could use it with you. So bows, not possible with a shield, obviously, because you need one hand.
I have a light crossbow.
You still need both hands to
Okay.
operate that, but it's not. You could certainly use it with your mace or your Morningstar or a hammer. Absolutely.
What-
So.
What armor are you wearing?
I'm wearing a scale mail and a shield. That's literally it.
You already have a shield.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any +1s
So
to it or anything.
you were talking about then trying to buy a +1 shield.
Yeah, but also there's also like what is it called? The padded armor, I think. That's also pretty much like the same price and also has +1.
Yes, but that would
Right.
be a step down for you from the armor you're presently using.
Right. What I was going to propose is for the cost of a shield +1, you could pretty much get like scale mail +1 or splint armor +1, and then you wouldn't have to worry about wielding the shield.
Yeah.
+1 would be built into the armor.
Now, those things aren't exactly cheap, but you
That's
do.
what I was looking at.
That's,
mean,
that's the hard thing. To get armor for everybody, we're probably looking at basic armor.
Yeah.
So
All right.
are you guys then going to look at maybe possibly getting for maybe only one or two of you, or are you guys, what is it? How do you guys want to run this? Because by the way, the rings of protection here are actually more expensive than they were over at the other location.
I definitely wanted to add to my armor class because I am the lowest one here right now.
Well,
so who's trying to buy armor aside from me?
Druggar, what's Druggar wearing?
he's wearing splint mail.
And so is Angelina.
Yes, I believe that is what most of the party is wearing. You guys have been coming up the ranks, but do remember, you guys were only second level when you guys first left with your gear, and you haven't really had an opportunity to upgrade a ton. But you've through by hook and by crook and by fortune, you have gotten some really nice weapons. Druggar does have the Amulet of Health, which certainly helps. But yes, you guys have some fairly basic armor, unfortunately.
How much money do we have as a party to spend on armor?
Well, let me take a look here. I think I can actually do a party overview and get what this comes out to. Oh,
He doesn't deal in weapons. He just deals in armor.
he does mostly armor. That's mostly what he deals with. But
I asked him if he'd be interested in, exchanging a longsword that's magic, +1 longsword, what I'm referring to. A magic longsword as part of the deal for some different kinds of regular armor for our party.
Well, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Yes. May I examine the sword in question?
So I pull out the +1 longsword, not the silver one, not the Dragon Slayer,
okay.
and I put it on the counter and let him examine it while we look at the plate and the chainmail and the different kinds of armor.
Okay. All right. So he takes a look at the sword that you have, and you see him, examining it, checking down the shaft to see if it's got any problems. He looks through the hilt and says, "Well, it's in pretty decent shape. But what did you wish to exchange it for?"
Well, we do need some armor for 3 or 4 of us. So we are looking at maybe a major purchase.
Well, I don't normally deal in the weapons, mostly in the armor, but we could certainly come to an accord, I'm sure. But I'm afraid that, typically speaking, a longsword of this type is actually normally worth less than the armor you're referring to in most cases, unless you are looking at only the basics, things made out of hide and so on. But I don't think that's what you're expecting, so, I have an idea. Instead of going for something that is considered to be magic, how about we get you into 2 sets of half-plate armor for an exchange for this sword? They're not magic, but much better than what you're wearing.
Absolutely. I think that would be a very fair trade. Druggar, would you wear half plate armor?
I'd wear your mother's underpants if it'll make me more effective in battle. In fact, I've seen your mother. I think it would be.
All right, my mother's underpants it is. Angelina, would you wear half plate armor?
Yeah. Can I?
Can she?
She's a cleric, can she not?
Believe she can. She's Angelina, I believe, can. Let me double check. I believe because she is I just drew a blank on the name of their school.
Life domain, yeah.
Thank you, Life Domain. Thank you.
Yeah.
I believe they can. I will double check here in a moment. I was right in the middle of getting
I'm pretty sure they can.
Yes, I am too.
What about Elrin? She's a
No, because she only gets up to medium with cleric, and she doesn't get heavy from her subclass.
Wow, I thought she was like a fighting cleric.
I'm pretty sure.
Now,
I believe you.
here's the thing: the half plate armor is actually the same armor class.
Oh, it is medium. I forgot about that.
Yes, half plate armor is still it is the same armor class as what Druggar is wearing, but it's superior in the sense that it is 20 pounds less.
Well, he doesn't worry about the weight as much, but we would definitely exchange the sword for 2 sets of half plate armor for the clerics, and then we can keep talking about something for Druggar better than what he's wearing.
All right, so let me get those. So I misunderstood. I was like, I want to make sure that we knew who was getting this. So we're gonna give this to the clerics, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so let me open up Elrin first. I'll open up hers. Yes, she is wearing chainmail presently, and we will get her the half plate armor placed into her inventory, and we will open up Angelina's next. Where is Angelina?
But the half plate, so scale mail is 14 plus deck. Oh, yeah, she doesn't have any deck, so it's just a +1 either way.
Exactly. It's not. It's every little bit helps, right? It's not like you're not going to be, for exchanging a +1 longsword that nobody's using. Okay.
Right.
Exactly. Not a bad exchange, and actually, the price of it's normally about. You guys are coming up about 400 gold pieces ahead on this, so it's not like it's really hurting you. But what you can also do now is you can sell back the scale mail that they don't need to wear, which is also heavier. And by selling that back, let's see here. Let me get her into this.
But because of the ring we just bought, I don't think we're going to be in a position to get like magic armor or elven chain for Kenji's character Damien.
Let's see. The half plate is AC 50. I want to check something here. Yeah, and the scale mail is AC 14. So I'm trying to see why we didn't get a boost here because her AC is not changing.
Did we lose something on the dexterity by putting on?
You have to equip it.
Yep, I did. Let me just do a quick thing in here. I see what happened. Let me go in. Okay, unfortunately, she should be properly enabled. Here we are.
I think we just got another sub. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, folks. Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have now corrected it. Yes, your AC has gone up 1 level, which is awesome. And now the gentleman goes and does offer to buy back the scale mail from you. And willing to go and buy that back at the handsome price of 35 gold pieces, which is not bad considering that
I'll take it.
it normally sells for about 50 gold pieces at the max anyway. So he goes and buys back Angelina's, putting back into her inventory another 35 gold pieces, which brings her up to 315 gold pieces. So she's doing very, very well. Angelina's buying drinks tonight. And now going over to Elrin. Elrin, gonna get you your version taken care of here. Let me go and equip this for her. Now, Elrin had chainmail. Chainmail is AC 16, so I don't think we want to give her the half plate because that would be a step down.
Yep.
Right? So is there somebody else that could potentially benefit from half plate armor?
Well, Druggar, but I was hoping to get him something even better.
Well, there is one person that could certainly do better, and that would be Damien if he wants to take the encumbrance penalty. What do you think?
That would be a loss of his dexterity then?
He would take a dexterity, I think a minor one though. It's not huge. Actually,
if it's anything more than 3, I would probably have an issue.
Actually, because it's half plate, it's not as bad.
Oh, good.
So let me take a look here. Work out the math.
Wait, what is he wearing currently?
I'm wearing chainmail, I think.
Yeah, a chain shirt. You're wearing a chain shirt, so there's no stealth penalty. Okay, that's which. So let's see.
How does he have 2 AC on top of that?
That he's got Ring of Protection and his bonus and this. There we go. All right. Yeah, it did give you a 1 AC boost, and looking at your attributes, it doesn't appear to be bringing up a so half. I think the half armor, pardon me, the half plate isn't as restrictive, so it doesn't appear that you're taking a serious detriment from that. Either I will check the stats right now to make sure that that's
It does
correct.
have disadvantage on stealth.
Yes, on stealth, but not on not a dexterity one. Not with respect to like.
Fighting.
Thank you. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, which I'm lucky if I can chew gum and walk without hurting myself.
Yeah, the penalty would be on stealth, but unless we got Elven Chain, that's
But I was
always
just going to
gonna
say, one of the things that bear in mind is, and I'm not trying to metagame for anybody here, but have you guys really been using him for stealth a lot? That's been something I think you've been kind of offloading to Cauldron a lot more. But it's up to you guys.
Yep.
All right.
No, that definitely makes a point. Like, we haven't really been using stealth a whole lot. Like, there's every now and then I crouch and I sneak around a bit, but like hasn't really been like a mission centric thing.
Right, and so what ends up happening then, because of the detriment you would take from this armor, you would essentially be rolling at even Stevens, right? You would lose the benefit that you have through your natural stats, which would take you down to even Stevens, or you're rolling at disadvantage. So you never know. It's up to you. But if you want to take it, it would give you a bump of 1 in your AC, which you could probably use with because you've had some problems with that in your last couple of battles. But it's up to you.
You know what? Let's. I just want to make sure. Does anybody else in the party need this plate mail?
Well, it's not that there's nobody else really that can wear it. That needs it, except for possibly Druggar. Druggar could wear it because it is slightly better than what he's wearing. Actually, no, it's not. It's no better than what he's wearing. In fact, it's worse.
Well, if that's the case, then I guess I will wear it.
Okay. Gentleman offers to buy back your chain shirt. Buys back the chain shirt from you, and looking at what you're presently wearing. Unless, Cauldron, did you want to take the chain shirt?
I think it's medium.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Right. So no sense there. Damien, he gives you 30 gold
What
pieces
armor do
for
you
it.
have?
Sorry?
I was asking Cauldron what armor she's wearing.
I think I'm wearing studded leather,
Oh,
Yes.
good.
which is the
Okay.
best light.
Yes.
Armor.
Soft and supple. Soft and
Right.
supple.
So only studded leather +1 would be an improvement.
Thank you. I'm trying
Pretty
to
much.
move
But
things
with,
around
I
without making
haven't,
mistakes here.
I haven't attuned to the ring of protection yet, and I'll do that
Yes, you
when I get the time to.
probably would like to do that. Damien, you have attuned to yours, and it is in your possession, so you are already getting the benefit of that.
Noise.
So that's already working for you. Let's see. What any other things you guys want to buy? I mean, you have pointed out correctly so that Druggar now probably has the worst AC out of the party, with the possible exception of the thief. Sorry, rogue. I know you guys don't like to be called thieves. Yep. Just taking a quick pass through. Yeah, Druggar and Angelina have the two lowest. No, and even she's going to have a higher one than he does now. As we go and give her the half plate.
So how much
Shield.
money are we looking at remaining for the party?
Just looking through what you guys have left. Angelina's got about 315. Wish there was a little doohickey to let us do this very quickly. Ruger, you're almost cleaned out. You're down to about 30. Cauldron, you're at about 100, so you got about 500 there between those three. Druggar's been cleaned out. He's down to basically nothing.
I still got money, don't I?
Yeah, I'm about to check you. You were the last one. I just got to get some
I
of
was gonna
these.
say I feel like I got a lot of gold left.
You've
over
got
because I
about
live.
you have about 1,300 still left. So between the three of you guys, the four of you, you're at about 1,800 gold pieces. Now that you guys have sold some of your stuff back to this guy, you're sitting at about, like I said, you're sitting at about 1,800, just doing the math on the back of a cocktail napkin.
Oh, there are
Sure.
upgrades that Druggar could afford.
Oops. All right, what do you think then? Taking a look in here. Well, let's see. His AC is 7. What he's wearing right now is AC 17, right? So it's really hard to get anything in there for that kind of money that's really going to make a huge improvement for him.
What about the adamantine chainmail? What kind of armor class?
That's 16, so it's no improvement. The adamantium splint is the same, but any criticals become a normal. All the adamantine really does is reduces crits against you because of its reinforcement. So you could get that. You certainly have the money for it. I just don't know if that's where you want to, spend your money right now. Going down to the half plate +1, that's not worth it. Looking at
armor.
Looking at a splint +1 would get splint +1. You guys could afford. He could go up splint to splint +1.
Yeah.
That would give him a one boost. It's just, is it really worth it?
Right. It's a lot of money for one boost. I'd rather get him like plate armor at some point. But
Yeah, plate's at 1,275.
You could go with
Yeah.
the starting set of plate, but that would also only get him up 1.
yeah, but
So that's comparatively less expensive than splint armor +1.
That's correct.
Right.
And the plate armor +1, which would get him a boost of 2, is unfortunately just a little bit outside of your range. Now I could show you guys this over here. It's like,
would it be out of our range if we turned in the other armor that he's wearing? I guess it's still going to be out of
well,
range.
yeah, this splint armor, figuring that you're probably going to get a little bit back on that, you're going to sell it for maybe 120 to 150 gold pieces. And then, so that would give you about 2,000. You're still about 500 short.
Right.
To try and get the plate armor +1. But you could certainly go up to the plate armor. It'd be more appropriate for somebody of his level, that's for sure.
Sure.
So what do you guys think?
I was kind of hoping to get Cauldron studded leather +1, but that doesn't leave us with enough money to get anything for Druggar.
Well, you got to ask yourself, what's going to be the better investment of money, right? Now, that's certainly going to be good for her. She could sell her studded armor back. You'll get, $30 back with her 30 bucks, 30 gold pieces back. It's not a great investment, but she is your sneak thief. He's your tank. Where do you want to spend the money?
I mean, but I also have an ability where I can half the damage against one attack per turn.
Right. We need to get him the best armor we can because he's taking the most damage and hits for the party.
I agree.
So
I agree as well.
So what's the consensus of the party then? Plate mail for your tank?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's plate him.
All right.
Yeah.
Plate armor it is. So Damien, hate to do this to you, pal.
What's up?
You're down to 15 gold pieces. It's for the greater good.
Yar, the greater good.
Yes. Angelina, you're down to 15 gold pieces. That gets you up to 1,600. Druggar has nothing to add to this, unfortunately. We take Elrin down to 15 gold pieces. You're now at 1,700. We only need 100 more.
Have my 30.
And Cauldron will take you down to 86. And that's our 1,800.
Hey,
All
it's the whole reason why we went to the trade place and everything.
Well, you know what, though? It's only, he looks at you guys, and you guys have been so, great to work with. He gives you guys a discount. So, it's not enough still to get the plate mail +1. But Druggar does get the plate mail armor, and he does give you guys back 500 gold pieces.
Wow.
And he says,
Wow.
Once again, if you could please tell the good sister that we are very, very happy to have her here. Yes. Yes.
and he turns very red and blushes and walks out the door with the measure and snaps his fingers, and the guys come in to start measuring Druggar. They're going to repurpose and replate up, obviously, through the magics of the time that we're in. It doesn't take the 3 months it would normally take to get your armor. Your armor will be ready at the beginning of the next day. So now the plate mail has been given over to our good friend, and the splint has been sold back, unless somebody else wants the splint. Going once.
Can Elrin wear it?
What does a splint do again?
Splint is vertical strips of metal.
Right. Does Elrin already have one?
Elrin's... tell you what, we'll keep it in the inventory for now. You guys can figure that out later, because I don't want this to take all... this is...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, no, so this isn't the most thrilling aspects of combat, right?
I don't know.
That is true. We only got like an hour 10 minutes. We only got an hour 10 left. We should make it more thrilling and fun.
Yeah. Well, there we go. So, yes, you guys have gone through, and now you have slightly better armor for the party, and Druggar now actually is not the weakest armored person in the party now, which is kind of a nice thing. So,
So we did what we set out to do.
yes, you guys have all of the new gear that you were looking to do. You've sold off a bunch of your excess equipment, your excess loot, and you've everyone's got a little bit of a bump now. Everyone's got a little bit more sass, a little bit more pizzazz, and a little bit of a higher chance to being able to succeed. Remember, a miss is a miss. It doesn't matter if it misses by 1 or if it misses by 10. It's still a miss. So every
Doesn't
little
matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
there we go.
Don't know what
Absolutely.
those meant.
I'm not
But it's
sure who was
I don't-
challenging. I don't know who was channeling.
We're not friends. We're not friends. We're family. We're family. I'm trying to do Vin Diesel. It's a horrible Vin Diesel. It's a horrible Vin Diesel. It's an
Oh my
even worse Vin Diesel than he actually is. Anyways.
All right. So you mentioned that you guys are staying at the Stonehill Inn. The provisioner is more than happy to go and bring the stuff up to you at the Stonehill Inn. He knows Bart. He'll leave the stuff with Bart. He knows it'll be safe there, and he's very, very happy to have you guys now added to his list of customers from that perspective. And he was also very happy. He does recognize you guys, and you notice that he doesn't say anything. He did recognize you, by the way, and he knows that you guys are wanted, but you guys did him a really solid turn by being able to bring back literally thousands of gold pieces worth of equipment that the goblins had been raiding off of multiple attacks on his shipments. As far as he's concerned, you guys are the good guys, and he's very happy to have been able to help out a little bit by cutting you guys a deal on the prices. So that having been said, he recommends that you guys kind of keep a low profile as you guys go back. But he says,
And I would probably stay out of the courtyard tonight when the trials take place.
Trial. What trial?
Oh, there's a trial every night. There's always someone found guilty. Yes, someone always found guilty. Ever since the Red Brands have taken over, and their form of justice is...
Your dad must be so happy right now.
I'm not sure.
Is this like Super Bowl or something?
Oh, so sorry. I'm sorry.
Randy.
I forgot to mute myself. I apologize.
Okay.
There's trials that go on every night. They bring up hooligans, reprobates, anyone that's a troublemaker, and then they have a trial. And then usually a beheading.
Oh. Is it about us?
Oh, ever since you first attacked Tressendar Manor, they've been most unpleasant to deal with. Most unpleasant. Very unforgiving, yes. But not that they were very tasteful before. They've been ruffians, and they've been as bad as any of the brigands on the road, if you ask me. But no one asks me.
Alright. Well, what now, guys?
Well, I need to attune my new sword, and I would probably need Damien's help to show me how.
Fantastic. So, with that having been done, the gentleman packs up everything for you that you can take with you. It's in your inventories already. And promises to have it delivered up, but I've already placed all of it into your inventories. Just please make sure you make the adjustments necessary with respect to it being enabled or not enabled, on or off, and if you have to attune it, for those of you that now do have magical items like the rings of protection, please do so inside of your interface so that we can actually get that taken care of. All right?
All right.
Awesome. So I'm sorry?
I said K.
Okay, great. So you guys go back out to the city of Phandalin. Are you guys now going to go to the Provisioner, or is you going back to the Stonehill to kind of prepare everything, or what's the story?
Why are we going to the Provisioners again?
Well, you guys, I don't think you guys have anything left to sell at this point, quite frankly.
Right.
But yes, so you guys come out of the Lion Shield coaster, and you make your way back up through the city, trying to get over to the Stonehill Inn. Once again, let's go and roll the bones and see whether or not you guys are going to be running into any unwanted attention. 19 or 20, you guys end up having an encounter, and as we roll, it's a 10. So you guys, wonderful little bit of tension there,
Thank
but you guys
God.
managed to make it all the way back up. It's about 3, 4 in the afternoon by this point. You're noticing that some of the shops have actually closed up here in the courtyard. A few of the merchants have already packed up for the day and they've already left, but you notice that there seems to be more activity taking place on the platform that was erected in the center of the courtyard itself. As you're walking by, the smell of incense coming from the shrine is quite intense, indicating that it seems that the rituals that the good lady said that she was going to be performing on Sildar are probably still going on. But nonetheless, are you guys just going to be happy going into the inn, or are you guys going to go anywhere else, or are you guys okay with going in there? By the way, is anyone going to connect back with the centaurs that are over waiting in the orchard?
Did they say they were going into the stables to hide? Are they in the orchard or the stables?
No, they were staying over in the forest, part of the orchards, right over here. They were going to hang out here in the orchards area,
Yeah.
so their going into the city would attract way too much attention. So they're staying in the forests and in the trees, and they're actually staying much further to the east, which is a little bit off the map here relative to where the forest actually picks up. There's the orchard, a little bit of clearing, and then the forest picks up, and they're kind of staying closer to the side where if they needed to beat feet or beat hooves, as it were, they could make their way back into the forest very, very quickly.
Yeah, I was going to wait to see how Sildar is
Yeah.
and get information from him before we kind of cut out, either in the cover of darkness or like early in the morning the next morning.
Okay.
And then go connect up with them by skirting around Phandalin instead of right through it.
So would anybody like to actually check in with the Temple of Luck to see how Sildar's doing?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys enter over into the ruined courtyard of the Temple of Luck. The smell of incense is quite strong now. You can hear the lyrical chantings of Lady Gariel coming from back inside of the cloister behind the altar. And you can hear her sing-songy voice soothing as she continues to attend to your fallen comrade Sildar. After you guys showing up there, it's as if she can sense your presence. The lady Gariel comes out and she looks extremely tired, extremely worn out. As she comes around the corner and sees you, well, children, I am so glad to see you here. It warms my heart to see the care and the concern you have for your fallen comrade. Take heart in knowing that Sildar clings to life. It will take time, but I do believe he will recover. But it will be several days before he finds himself on steady footing again. If you can stay in town, he will be probably with us by the rise of the weekend, but
I'm afraid not beforehand. It will be impossible for him to even regain consciousness to speak.
I see.
He has been grievously wounded, sister. She puts her hand on your shoulder and leans into you, and she goes, he has been touched by necrotic undeath. And you know what that can do to a man's soul and to a man's vitality. If we try and rush him to his feet too soon, the Grey Death can come back for him unexpectedly while he is out in the wilds, and he could find himself becoming one of the army of the undead. We cannot allow that to happen to such a good man as our good friend Sildar.
Of course. All right.
But he has
So
been muttering names in his sweaty battle with the necrotic damage to his soul. He keeps saying something about Murmansk. He keeps saying something about a key. Do you know what he is talking about, child?
we do actually.
Does this make any sense to you? He keeps saying she's there. She has the key. Does that mean anything to you?
I mean, it must. I mean, we are looking for a key. Who's she? Who's she that he's speaking about? Is there anything more he said?
I'm afraid I do not know, child. I was hoping you might. He has been in a fever as his body fights against the undeath that is in his blood. But I was hoping you might be able to tell me. Alas, it seems you cannot. It's all right, child. He will be fine. But perhaps not for a while. I'm sorry, I must go back to attend to my charge. Of course, feel free to pray at the temple, leave your offerings, but I must go attend to our good friend.
I understand.
She bows to you guys and walks back into the cloister, and you can hear her pick up the sing-song lyrical chanting as she begins to try and remove the damage that was done to him by whatever denizens it was that he fell up against.
I wonder who he means by she. It could be
Which parts of the puzzles have we not gotten yet?
Do we have? I don't think we have the mother's lace.
or the ring, right?
Well, you have
Is there-
you do have the lace. The lace was given to you by Agatha.
Oh, okay.
That was given to you by Agatha.
So the daughter might be what she's referring to, the daughter of Mormon, or we might be talking about somebody else, like the spider might have the key.
Yeah.
Where was Sildar? What was he trying to do when he got attacked?
Druggar's like, what? Well, he left us at that catacombs. Didn't he say he was going forward to look at our next location?
Right.
What did he call that? Stoneholm or what the hell was?
Axeholm?
Oh, that's right, Axeholm. You think I'd have remembered that? As he says, as he starts rubbing the axes that are strapped to the bandolier on his chests.
So we should probably get over to Axeholm as soon as we can.
Should we wait till the morning for Druggar's armor?
Yeah, definitely. Armor and weapons.
Yeah, the falchion and the armor will be delivered in the morning. They will take the rest of the day to make and to get properly set up. In the meantime, as you guys are standing at the front of the Stone Hill Inn, you pick up the pungent yet delicious aromas coming from Bart's kitchen. Bart obviously is outdoing himself today, as you can smell what smells like roasted onions or possibly garlic and a tangy but yet vibrant smell, you're fairly certain he's making his famous dish that comes from a faraway land. Very exotic. I believe he calls it spaghetti and meatballs.
How exotic.
Yes. Not normally served in these parts, and no one really wants to ask what meat is used in the balls.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we're heading over there now, right?
Yes, you guys are going over to your very favorite place, the Stonehill Inn.
1 second, Kevin. I couldn't find the Ring of Protection in Cauldron's inventory.
Oh, must have gotten that. Okay, was that given to you by somebody else, or did you guys buy that? I just want to make sure I knew where it came from. You guys bought
No,
that?
I think we traded it for the loot, and I think it went directly to Cauldron.
Okay, I'm sorry, I must have accidentally dropped it. I will give it to you right now.
Everybody else, check your inventories.
Yeah, everyone check, make sure I didn't drop it on the wrong person.
I don't think it's in mine. I did remove the longsword +1, but I deleted it. I didn't remove it. So
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
That can go to the guy at the Lions Field.
Okay. Colin, you don't have it. Angelina, you don't have it. Yep. Okay, I must have just goofed. My apologies. Yeah, nobody's got it. Okay, sorry. Let me get that to you right now. Okay, where are you, Cauldron? There you are. Oops. No, I see what I did wrong. Is it not showing up in your inventory? I'll try one more time. It's just there we go.
I haven't
there we go.
refreshed it yet.
There you go. It wasn't going over, but it is now. All right, bringing you guys into the Stonehill Inn. And as we go into the Stonehill Inn, yes, in fact, as you go in, you can smell the delicious aroma pouring out of the kitchen as your favorite half-orc is slaving away behind the counter. You can see by the big beaming grin on Molly's face as she runs back and forth that she is just as happy as everybody else to know that there will be spaghetti on the table tonight. Molly runs up to you guys and goes, "Hi guys, how you been? Yes, well, you know, Daddy tells me I have to be really careful and be really quiet around you guys, but you know, we got a table over here. There's a gentleman over here asking about you guys earlier on today. He wanted to know whether or not you guys were going to be staying here at the inn. He says that he knows your secret and that Dad says that, you know, it might not be safe for you guys to be here in town very much longer."
Thank you, Molly. I give her what copper I have left. Maybe we should stay out in the stable tonight.
Did
Just an idea.
you get a name or anything?
No, Daddy didn't give me a name on them at all, but Daddy said that if they came in, he said something about reaching down into their stomach and pulling out their butthole through their mouth, but I don't remember exactly what he was saying. He gets kind of funny when he starts talking like that. But, you know, I don't speak Orc really well. Daddy doesn't like that very much, and he doesn't like talking about violence around me too much, but he curses a lot when he starts speaking in Orc, and Brad mentioned it a couple of times. But he said for you guys not to worry about it, that he's got your back. Don't worry. Bye. She goes running back off into the kitchen.
All right.
But
Yeah, it's probably a good idea not to stay there tonight.
So, I mean, we could go out to the forest, but that's quite a ways from town and requires the risk of walking through town and back. So maybe we could ask Bart if we could just stay in the stable and he could send Cougar's stuff out there when it comes in.
Well,
maybe pretend it's tack.
When Molly goes running off into the kitchen to let her dad know that she delivered the message, and you hear the unmistakable grunting of the soft-spoken half-orc. He comes walking out from the kitchen, stands up to his full height, and comes walking over to you guys and leans over so you guys can hear him. He's like, hey, there's a lot of people around here that have been paying attention to you guys that probably you shouldn't be messing with. People that are probably going to give you a lot of trouble. So tell you what, why don't you guys go and sleep in the wine cellar tonight? I can put a extra lock on the door. You guys can lock it on the inside. You should be safe, but too many people, I think, know that you guys are here now. Probably be best for everybody if you just lay low in the basement. He guys hands you a big, heavy iron padlock that has a big key sticking up out of it. Don't worry, I'll have Molly bring down the spaghetti downstairs. You guys won't be hurting for food, I can promise you. With that, he goes and throws the towel back over his shoulder, goes stomping back over to the kitchen, ducks down, makes his way in through the entrance into the kitchen door.
Sounds good to me.
So you guys go and get some of your provisions and take them down into the basement area. You had almost everything with you to begin with. You only had a few things left back in the room. Bart is leaving the room in your name. He's not renting it back out. He is, in fact, leaving it up there. But you all go downstairs into the wine cellar. There's tables down there in the basement where Bart uses for taking the large casks of wine and ale and setting them up into smaller containers to go and serve or sell upstairs. So you're not hurting for places to eat, but clearly sleeping down there is going to be a little bit cramped. It's dark, it's dingy, it smells of stale wine and stale ale, unfortunately, so it's a little fragrant, as it were. But the hot plates of spaghetti and meatballs come downstairs along with extra helpings of black bread and big flagons full of spiced wine that's been warmed up specifically to match the temperature of the spaghetti. You eat a hearty meal and get yourselves refreshed and then go through your evening rest. So Ruger, that one spell that you ended up having to go and use, I'm going to go ahead and give you a long rest. It's now a new day and you've now found yourselves back to your regular capabilities. And in the morning, when you come upstairs from the wine cellar, you see that Bart is tending the bar, washing the mugs and the bowls in a large basin of water there behind the bar. And on the bar next to him are very large parcels wrapped in leather and burlap. Your purchases that came in the night that you had made the night before are now been delivered at the crack of dawn as promised through the rush orders and are available for you to put on so you can put your gear on and be ready to rock and roll if there is such a thing in this world. But there we go. Really quickly, does anybody need to take a break for a moment?
Yes.
Okay, I will take a break too. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are following, we're going to take a quick break. I need some water. I'm running out of breath. But thank you very much for being with us. We will be back in 10 minutes, so everybody take a quick pause. All right, folks. Wow. I think these may be bots. I'm not sure. But it's fine.
Well, here's also the other thing, Dad. You also have it set up so that the only way that people can comment in the chats is if we followed you for 3 months.
Oh, I didn't know I had done that. I will change that.
Yeah, because I actually tried to say thank you to everybody who was tuning in earlier, and I couldn't.
Okay, how do I change that?
I do not know.
I think that may actually be something based on the number of people that you have. But I'll look into it.
I mean, I don't think so, because I've had people comment in on my chat, on my streams.
Oh, okay. I will look for that, because I am still learning. I'm still learning. So.
Yeah. Well, trust me, you've had more people coming in and watching this whole thing, a lot more than people have come and seen my board games. But, you know. By the way, it's actually cool. Like, I highly recommend you check out Omega Virus. It's a really cool board game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely will. One of the board games I wanted us to play this Christmas, and we might stream that if we can set it up properly, is Pandemic, which is a game that we actually bought last year and never played, and I thought it would be appropriate for us to play now. So.
I would definitely be down for that, actually. I would have a lot of fun.
So Makiko is actually walking the dog right now, so what we may do, I don't know if she is on her phone. Are you with us, Ravina? / Angelina, depending on how the mood has struck her in the day, or if someone has struck her. Okay, I don't think she is back yet. Do we have Eva back? We don't have Eva back either. Steve, are you back?
Yes. You know, sometimes I like to smack Angelina just for fun to see if she'll change.
I understand. There's been times, I think, where people have wanted to go, you didn't change, let me hit you, so we can turn you back into what we need. And for those...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, for anybody who's following the Twitch stream, If we get into combat, you may end up finding out what we're talking about. Angelina doesn't respond well to being struck.
No, she does not.
Or does she? Depends on your perspective, I imagine, how you want to interpret what ends up happening.
Well, what usually happens to the people who struck her is not pretty. So,
That's true.
is it possible for me to attune my Dragon Slayer longsword? Because it's still saying attunement required.
Yes, you can do so.
How do I do that?
Let me get into your character sheet. Let me give you a hand with that.
And can I remove this great sword, great falchion from my inventory?
Yes, you may. That is, in fact, already over in Druggar's. Let me make sure it should be over to
Okay.
his.
It is gone.
Yes. I was just going to move it over, but when you deleted it, that gives me an extra step. That's okay. I will
Sorry.
Just... It's okay.
I thought you were saying it was over in his inventory.
No, it's all right. It basically is a great sword that is a falchion, so it is all right.
Will it help him with his attacks? Is it any better than his battle axe?
Depends. There's times when it might be worth examining having.
So I've been having trouble activating the Ring of Protection.
Okay, let me take a look
I
at it.
have it. I think I have it enabled or like equipped, and it was originally on doesn't require attunement, and so I moved that to attuned.
Okay. All right, let me take a look at your character and fix that for you real quick. Let's come off of, let's go back to gameplay. There we go. All right, let me take a look at your character sheet here real quickly. Okay, it does say it's attuned, so you're good.
But I'm not getting that +1 to AC.
Yep.
And probably saves as well.
Yep, you have it now. Watch. See? Go to effects. And you'll notice that you see under the effects you've got passive effects and temporary effects and inactive effects, and one of them says Ring of Protection. If you click that X, it turns it off. So if you ever take it off, or if you're not dual wielding, you take that one off. See? Boom, boom.
Got it.
And so you're good to go now with that, and let me get into Druggar and attune his sword for him, because that needs to be attuned. The Dragon Slayer sword should be, oh no, it's got the red next to it. I'll fix that right now. There you go. It is now attuned to you, sir.
Great.
All right. Do we have everybody except for Angelina, correct? And I explained to her that I would go ahead and proceed without her, so I will be covering her for the next couple seconds until she gets back with the dog if necessary. So it is now morning. You guys have come out, as I mentioned before. Gear is there. Everyone's gotten their gear on. Everyone is prepared to leave the building to go where you might go. You are aware, of course, that your friends, your four-legged friends, are still waiting for you guys out by the orchards. So they are definitely there waiting for you should you need or want or desire to go out in that direction. Of course, you don't necessarily need to. You could try, obviously, to go and strike out on your own if that's where you decide that you wish to go. But if you do intend to go and meet with them, it would probably be wise to head back down the road that heads towards the city hall, make make that sudden left and head out towards the orchard and pass through the folks that run the orchard on your way out to meet up with your centaur friends. So, but that of course is where is if that is what you folks would like to do. You tell me, where would you guys like to go?
I'm trying to think. So what is the current mission that we have right now again?
Well, you guys were trying to figure out what to do. Oh, you have many missions, by the way, but the one that you are presently focusing your attention on was trying to deal with where the last remnants of the puzzle box might be. Now, you have a piece of flannel, lace, that was given to you by Agatha. You were given the instructions on how to open the puzzle box by the Nothic. He gave you guys the ability to do that, and he gave you half of a key at the same time. So what you're still looking for is the other half of the key, and you're looking for a ring.
Got it.
I'd say the axe something.
Axeholm.
Axeholm is probably the best place to look.
Yes, you guys were on your way there. You decided to go to the Dragon Barrows because it was the stop you decided to go to first. But if you guys would like to go to Axeholm, absolutely possible to do so. Your good friends, your four-legged friends that are waiting for you outside at the orchard would be more than capable of taking you there. So you guys come out of the inn and you make your way down through the city, down to the corner road, and then make your way through Phandalin, past City Hall and everything else. But as you get towards the orchard farmhouse, I'm going to quickly check to see if you've been detected. On a 19 or 20, you guys have been intercepted along your path. 15, you managed to make it through just fine in your guise as you were able to get through there. When you get to the farm, the gentleman who runs the Alderleaf farm is waiting there. He sees you come walking up, and he mentions to you that the patrol stepped up very heavily the night before. Word was out that you folks were back in town, and on 2 different occasions last night, folks came to his farm asking about you. They searched through the farmhouse, they searched through the tool sheds out in the back, and they were being none too gentle about it. And they offered to double the reward for you for you 6, all the way up to about 500 gold pieces, which is, as you could well imagine, a tremendous sum for anybody who's a normal farmer or a villager. But well, Quellen, he used to be an old warrior, and he's not about to go and easily turn tail and run, and he's certainly not going to go and turn his back on an ally, which he sees you guys as after you managed to rescue the sheriff's daughter and the sheriff's wife and help him get them out of town so they didn't get sold into slavery. But he does want to let you know that it's getting really, really hot in town, and that you guys need to either do something about the red brands or start learning to grow eyes in the back of your head. That having been said, the missus comes out, provides you guys with some victuals to take with you on your trip, and a big bushel of apples to share with your 4-legged friends. And you guys proceed out the back through the forest, where you eventually rendezvous with your friends. the centaurs who were waiting for you, as they had mentioned out in the forest. They ask.
Is Sildar with us, or is he just still getting well?
Sildar is still getting well. He's still recovering back at the shrine, and according to the good sister, at least 3 or 4 more days of convalescing in order to get over what had happened to him. Whatever necrotic poisons were flushing through his system, he was in considerable trouble and in a lot of danger of potentially not surviving it. But fortunately for you, he's not dead. So that's the good news. The good news is he's alive. The bad news is he's not in great shape. But be that as it may, your newfound friends are willing to go and ride you guys out to where they found the good knight, which was not actually too far away from Axeholm. All right.
Oh, since it's a new day, should the clerics like prepare spells that may be good against the undead, since Sildar's apparently attacked by them?
That is a good point. I'll let you guys take an opportunity for the clerics to change their loadouts. Let me quickly give
I'd highly recommend Spirit Guardians on at least one of you guys.
And seeing as how I would probably say let's put that on Angelina. Is Angelina in here? Do we have? She's not here. Okay, hold on a second. Let me give her her icon. Where are you, Angelina? There you are. All right, so Angelina, if she gets smacked in the head in the middle of combat, may turn into Ravina, which means that even if she has Spirit Guardians, she might not have Spirit Guardians. You might not have that as a party. So Elrin opts instead to go and make that part of her spell book. So she opts to go and have that turned on for her. So looking at her available spells.
Do they have magic weapons?
Let's see, Elrin. Well, let me deal with the spells first. I think she does.
Okay.
I think she does.
I guess regardless, I'll give them the whetstone that will change their weapons magic.
So she is preparing Spirit Guardian, and she is unpreparing. Wow. Call Lightning. Well, she can't. That's something that's always ready for her. So she's gonna unmemorize that one. So she doesn't have Zone of Truth. And she can't turn off Thunderwave. That's always going to be there, but she is going to turn off Inflict Wounds. And she is going to turn on... What would be another good one for her to have?
Maybe Protection from Evil and Good.
I was thinking about that, or Shield of Faith, or Sanctuary.
Is this Angelina that you're talking about?
No, Elrin.
Or Elrin, okay.
Angelina will make similar changes, I would imagine, but the thing that I wanted to be sure of is that Elrin, who will always be a cleric for you, will be available, and when we don't have to worry about her alt suddenly showing up. So let's go with Protection from Good or Evil. Let's go with the kind of like the plain vanilla and make sure she's got that. So Elrin, I think, is good with the other one. She's got Revivify, which could come in very handy. If under the current, maybe Revivify isn't the best one. Let's go with we got Mass Healing. Let's go with Aura of Vitality. Yeah, let's go with Aura of Vitality. That could be helpful. Thoughts? All right. Silence is acceptance.
Aura of Vitality, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, is there any particular reason why it wouldn't be good or to have? Or
Well, it's good because it can provide healing and basically an HP boost to everybody who's within the effective range.
that sounds pretty useful to me, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Mass healing spells would be good. So would
Yeah.
mass protection spells.
Yeah.
Go with protection from poison. We got Prayer of Healing. Turn that one off. That should be in her repertoire. All right. Do we have Angelina back yet? All right.
I would take that silence as a no. Wait, hold on. Wait. Actually, she just went offline, so. But there she's back. She's
There
back.
she's back. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Hello?
Now we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I've been here the whole time. I've been talking too.
All right. Was just adjusting some of your spells to
No,
help.
I was here for the whole thing. I was here the whole time.
Oh, okay. We couldn't
And
hear
I was
you.
talking too.
All right. Well, sorry. But
It's okay. Something went weird with the Discord.
That's all right. Why not? Everything else went weird today, so why not that too? So we got this all taken care of. You guys climb onto the backs of your friends, the centaurs, and they ride you out of town. It's quite a long ride up into the hills. You do pass through the grassy lowlands where you had come across the Dragon Barrow, and you notice other kind of hilly areas as you're doing so. It appears to be that the Dragon Barrow is not the only one out there in the wilds that you need to be worried about. But as you do so, you eventually find yourself coming up across the foothills of the Sword Mountains. The centaurs pass through a number of different trails and take you over to a clearing where all of the grass appears to be prematurely brown and dead. Druggar, your divine sense, do you need to turn that on, or is that always active?
He needs to turn it on.
I think I need to activate it.
Okay.
But are we getting close to the place where we're supposed to be going?
Well, when you get to this area where the grass is dead,
yeah, I can turn on there.
Okay. As you do so, you get a very strong sense of the undead being present. There's that sour, tangy, pungent smell that you pick up on whenever they are present, and it comes from directly ahead of you at the foot of the hills that are proceeding just to the north of you as you move your way deeper into the hillside. And as you do so, you see that there's thrust out from the base of these gray mountains. It just sort of comes up on you kind of almost out of nowhere. You could see the hills in front of you. There was the dead grass. And as you ride forward about another 100 feet, all of a sudden you can see the entrance to a fortress carved into the hillside so expertly that it just avoided detection until you were practically on top of it. You could see that there are huge entranceways that pass into this stone fortress with large bulwarks of seamless, smooth stone making the face of it. But even from this distance, you can make out a particulus in the front. It appears to be down and rusted. You can see arrow slits that are quite large, clearly not just for archers, but probably for some sort of weapons of war, in 3 different layers, 3 different levels in this stone face, indicating that it is a multi-level structure on the inside. But there's no sign of life. There's no sign of any activity, and you all feel a certain degree of uneasiness as you begin to walk towards it. At that point, the centaurs all stop, and the lead centaur looks at you and says, "We will not be moving any further forward. Our friend Sildar we found here on this area where the grass stops being green. We were hunting game when we saw him stagger forward. We believe he was foolish enough to enter into the old dwarven ruins. I hope for his sake that it was worth it. There is a deep and dark evil in that place. It is rumored that when the Phandalin fell, that many of the noble women were brought here to be tortured in front of their husbands, in hopes that one or the other would be forthcoming with the location of the Wave Echo Cave. Many women lost their lives here. It is tainted with innocent blood. We will not go inside. We will not venture any further. But if you should choose to go inside, we will wish you good fortune. We will wait here for 2 days to make sure that you come out. If after 2 days you do not come forward, we will assume you have joined the denizens that haunt the insides of Axeholm. Good luck to you all, good fortune, and may your gods be with you. And
Thank you.
And with that, he lets you down off of. They let you down off of their backs. They pull back away from the grassy area and let you know that they'll be setting up camp just at the edge of the forest as it approaches this plain area. They have clear visibility of the hillside. They can see it from the edge of the forest, so if you come out, they will see you and they will know that you're there, but they absolutely are not going to venture into there any further than they absolutely have to. As you guys enter, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to tell the party. So should we get ready and go in? I sense evil and undead. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, I think we can go.
Excellent.
Do you want to cast any long-term spells right now? Like, anybody have like an aid or a group spell that would last for a long time?
I believe I have an aid, or maybe I have bless, and I'm getting those confused. Let me check.
Bless is pretty short. I'm not sure aid lasts that long.
I think aid is like 8 hours.
Yeah,
maybe.
eight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 8 lasts a lot longer than Bless does, I believe. Bless is like 10 minutes, I think.
I do not have aid.
Bless is 1 minute.
Yeah.
And Spirit Guardians is 10 minutes. Just saying. Now I don't know how long it'll take for us to find any enemies.
Yeah, I'm going to cast aid. Um,
I hate it when it does that. Okay, hold on a moment, guys. It tried to give you guys way too much
I don't.
visibility on
Yeah,
me. It really pissed me off when it does that.
I can just see the treasure chest, but I can't see anything else.
Okay, it's not supposed to give you any of that. So let me do
well,
this.
she is a rogue. She can smell a treasure chest a mile away.
Yeah, it's not supposed to do that, but that's fine. You guys are all here, so I got. Oh, Cauldron, you're in there twice. Let me get rid of that. Elrin, there we go. That really ticked me off, but oh well. What am I gonna do?
It's okay. We didn't see anything.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So you guys find yourselves standing. You walk down towards where the smooth walls begin. And as you enter, you can see down a long corridor. This is really ticking me off. One moment. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. That's fine. I'm going to do this on the Zoom, There's only so much I have control over. I can't control the fact that it's showing you things it's not supposed to. Fine, no problem. So you guys are standing this way, a very long corridor. It's about 15 feet across in front of you. This area, it goes deep into the side of the mountain, literally chiseled out of the living rock. What you can see on either side of you is you can see that the entranceway is heavily defended, that there used to be arrow slits where most likely either archers or mages or machines of war could have shot the people that were trying to enter into the entranceway here. So I can see that we have several people that have. Let me check something
Aid.
here. Yeah.
That should be aid.
Okay. 1 second. I know what the problem is. There we go. That's part of the problem there. That helps. Only slightly, but at least it helps a little bit. Let me check something here. I just have to fix everybody's vision because you guys are seeing stuff you're not supposed to. 1 moment while I fix that. Okay. That's the best I can do for the moment. All right. As I mentioned, you guys can see in through the entranceway. You can see that there's all of this stonework ahead of you. It's funny. You guys can see better on your map than I can on mine. This is how I know something's definitely screwed up. That is really ridiculous. Okay. I'll fix this later. I'm not exactly sure why the DM doesn't see as well as the people. The people see better than the DM. I'll figure it out later. Anyhow, like I said, you can see ahead of you, this line here, there is a portcullis that is lowered in your way, and it appears to be very rusty and locked in place. So, with that having been said, I'm going to have to ask you guys how you plan to proceed. How do you plan on getting yourselves into this location?
So shall we have the dwarf and maybe the former dwarves look for other entrances?
Yeah.
Is a portcullis something that the rogue can pick the lock of, or find the what's it called? The machinery that moves it?
Mechanism?
Yeah, find the mechanism to move it.
Should I maybe put like a shield? How long does a shield of faith last again?
I think it's
10
a minute.
minutes.
Oh, it could be, yeah,
Oh.
10 minutes maybe.
Okay, never mind.
I'd wait till we're in combat, because that's a bonus action you can do right in your first action group. So I just do it in bonus action about that time.
All right.
Protection from evil and good is good, but as soon as you do Shield of Faith, you stop concentrating on protection from evil and start concentrating on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a problem with these spells that require concentration.
Okay. Well, is there anything in like our immediate vicinity?
Anything like an opponent?
No, no.
Or
Just
even like a door?
because my screen's like still loading right now. Like, is there any direction we can start walking?
Seems to be only forward.
Yeah.
All right.
We can go forward to the portcullis.
Okay, I think maybe
Are we going to be
like...
wrapping soon?
What's that?
Yeah, DM time check. It's 6:01.
Okay, let's hold here at the doorway because clearly you guys are at the entrance of something interesting. The doorway itself is directly in front of you, but it is in fact locked, and it is going to take quite a bit of work for you guys to figure out how to get into it, and that's a whole conversation in and of itself. So let's hold there, and let's talk in a little bit when we pick up next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, as we pick up where we left off in the Gatewalker Saga. All right, guys. There we go.
Alrighty.
So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
All right. Appreciate it, everyone. If all of you folks that were watching on the stream, thank you so much for doing so. I will figure out what went wrong with our Fog of War, because you guys were seeing far more than you were supposed to. But we will take care of that a little bit later on. All right, folks. Take care. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the team. You didn't die again, which is always a positive. Take care.
We ended up with armor for everybody.
Yeah.
Yay!
We made progress.
Yes. Yes.
A
Bye-bye.
little improvement in survivability. Take it easy.
I will leave the game up if
Wait.
you guys want to make journal entries for the next half an hour or so until then. You can go ahead and make any entry about notes, comments, things that you wanted to ask yourself, remind yourself for your next time through. All right? Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.